Welcome everyone to News on the Flip Side. And StreamYard was being a little strange there, but welcome everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day, good afternoon. You know, for me, it's 9:11 in the evening times.
10:11
I know.
here on the east.
Yes, it's 10 o'clock out there for you East Coasters. For our West Coasters, you know, it's only 7 o'clock. Y'all watching news. Y'all might not be watching news. Y'all might be watching the rain. I have no idea, but welcome to the news. A lot going on. I mean, so 24 hours in that puffing white smoke. Who would have thought, man? Actually, Jimmy, we're gonna take a break before we get into this, but we're gonna talk a little bit about the Pope first. Really, 24? Is this like a record?
There's Snoop Dogg there. That's why there was so much smoke coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, huh? But I mean,
saw that picture.
I was wondering because I was talking to a friend of mine. He said he thought it was a record, and I said, "Well, I don't really know if it's a record. I mean, 24 hours. That's fast."
Well, one of the records was that the longest time for them to vote on a new pope was 3 years.
Well, obviously, this wasn't 3 years. Obviously, this was lickety splickety hippity dickety. I mean, this just went down fast.
And he's a Republican from Chicago.
And it was weird because I was watching the news and it was live news.
No way, Mike. Are you fucking with me? Dude, he ain't a Republican.
He's a Republican from Chicago.
I know he's from Chicago, and I know he's.
He voted for Trump in 2016. He's only rebuked Trump on the not even deportation. It was more about blocking I think people from coming in. But yeah, big time Republican. Long history of it. He's only voted Republican his entire life.
So wait a minute. If this is true, this means the United States has more power than they even realize. So we have our own country.
We got the Catholics.
I mean, but think about it. I mean, we're talking 1.4 billion people in the Catholic Army, 400 billion at home. With a military that, oh Jesus, plus they're everywhere, man. It'd be like infiltration of the worst kind. I don't know. It's a little weird. I know it makes people a little bit nervous in the geopolitical climate we're in right now, but
well, they're also in possession of one of the world's largest secret databases of written knowledge.
And mass riches
knowledge, I'm sure.
Mass riches, but of course, Francis was a big time liberal. He took the church. He did things in that church. The church is against what they're all about.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't that liberal because he didn't open up the vault to the secret archives that they have.
No, but he's like the whole gay thing and whatever, and just a lot of things. I mean, even though I'm not against gays, but it's the Catholic Church. You know what I'm saying? They got their own thing, and also indulgence, man. So you can basically pay your way out of a sin. They hadn't had that for a long time. And then
there's what is it called? Extreme unction on the deathbed. If you take extreme unction, you can go to purgatory. You don't have to go to hell. It's what's
indulgence? You pay your way out. They swear you can, but they tell you they don't tell you a price, but it's a way. So if you commit a huge crime,
they giving them 5 or 10 grand around every Sunday or any service, even if it's on a Wednesday. They do have Wednesday services, but they send a plate around to all the patrons to put money into. And they're selling you afterlife insurance without any proof of you needing it,
and you get nothing in return.
You get nothing in return. No. Okay, we can take that back, Michael. You get a small thin wafer of unleavened bread and a sip of watered down wine.
And then a guy who doesn't have sex is preaching at you about your life. Yeah, woo. That's what I like. I know. You know what? I lived in a town where we had the Archdiocese Catholic Church. They controlled everything, and they were the most horrible, nastiest people. The men always had a Mercedes. They came to my father's gas station, to gas up and give. They had an account. The nuns would have like a newer car, like a Buick, whatever. but the men had a Mercedes. You know what? It's like, I don't know. The whole thing is bull crap. It's a huge corporation.
Some of the popes have worn like huge, golden rings and golden necklaces.
Yeah, it's a huge corporation
institution on the planet. I guarantee you that.
I mean, Jesus didn't have any of that. Didn't even have a mule. But I mean, it's a huge corporation that has a lot of power and control. A lot of power and control, man. And then now it seems like everything is swinging Trump's direction. It's very interesting what's happening, actually.
Well, it's kind of a bit on the scary side, knowing that the Pope is from the United States, and we have Trump, and the two most powerful men in the world are from here, and it makes for interesting politics.
Pope Leo, yeah, I mean he's from Chicago, a real city. He grew up in the city, and he grew up. He wasn't a rich guy or whatever. He did grow up in meager means, but I think he has more of an understanding of America and what goes on. He could probably do a heck of a lot for the Catholic Church because it's been suffering under Francis. It was a lot of people walked away; they didn't want to. Whatever. I mean, to me, it's just a cult religion, so it doesn't go by like all right, I'm watching a guy come out and then they're going through their little services and all these cardinals wearing their garb and how weird and ritual. Lao Tzu said ritual was the beginning of confusion, and I truly believe that. But what came to my mind in the Old Testament where it says, "Put no idols before me." It's just that kind of just hits me hard when I'm watching a pope. I'm watching these people have so much power and money and all this, and then there are people idolizing him. But
well, not even that. If you go into almost any church, particularly like I studied Gothic architecture in churches in college. You go into any proper Catholic church, the first thing you see once you get into the nave, the main hallway of the church, there's a big cross with a half-naked man stretched out on it. If that's not an idol, I don't know what else is.
I know that altars have a lot of gold and jewels and stuff like that, and they have chalices that
are like 5 feet tall. Yeah, that's huge.
It's just insane. The wealth is unbalanced against the poverty outside the door. And then they don't have any humility. Humility is a good word for it. They don't have the humility of those people, the same people they say they're serving. Does the Catholic Church do any good? I think there are Catholics who do good, and then they give credit to the Catholic Church, but I don't think the Catholic Church does any good, they themselves. I know they own a lot of land in the U.S., especially that's tax-free. I know that there's a debt that they have to us, I think. I don't want to support someone's religion. I don't want the government to say you're not allowed to celebrate a religion, but I don't want to pay for your religion at the same thing. Yeah. So go celebrate. You want to pay for it, you pay for it. Those collection plates go around, and that's what used to piss my mom off because she kept me away from the Catholics. She said that collection plate would go around, and people would look at each other at what you put in there. They want your neighbors, the people in your town.
Oh yeah, they did. Of course they did.
So it's kind of a pressure in a weird way. You know what I mean? I don't know. The whole thing is dark and dank. And if you actually read the Bible, the not the New Testament, because I think it's all BS. If you read the Old Testament, it'll say that there are people that are going to have their own Bible. They're going to use it and put those words in your mouth and whatever the fuck they're going to do, they're going to do it. And they're going to do it to manipulate you, to control you, to take your money. And then those people are supposed to be damned.
So that's exactly what religion is. It's a method of control, like government. I went to a Catholic school run by priests and nuns, and every Friday we had to go to church as the whole school. I mean, everybody went and filled the church. It's called St. Raphael's. It's on Rockville Pike in Maryland. And when I went there, it was in the 70s. They had corporal punishment, which meant that the nuns and the priests could smack us if we got out of line. And I was one of the few class clowns. There were 3 of us, and we constantly were getting beaten with. You remember those wooden rulers? There's like one edge has like a metal spine down it.
Hey, Fox.
Yeah, and they used to smack our hands with it. They literally
now it's a pinky turn on. Back then it was punishment.
It was perfectly. I mean, these angry childless penguins would hit us with sticks in the middle of class because we were laughing and having fun.
But anyway, right there we're stopping because we haven't even started out promos or breaks or anything. So now people can remember the music now. I don't want to have to be taking it off the thing because these shows are monetized now, so it's a pain in the ass.
No, I got a great song, but Jada's
better not be from nobody famous.
No, my song is not from anyone famous. No one's
the one I picked for opening is Stephen Stills.
So anyway, we're gonna play some promos, and then Jay's gonna play out some music before we come back. Kerry, who? Kerry Rothschild. Oh, from Nathan. Okay, now I know who you are. Okay. No, you say Rothschild, my brain goes, oh, Rothschild, but no, I know
Rothschild.
Yes, but anyway, we'll be back. And if you look at how somebody's got these pretty banners, where are we at? We're not where we're supposed to be. All this pretty stuff on here, but I want y'all to stay tuned. We're going to start off with some Michelle, and then we'll go from there.
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
This is the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UPRN talkradio.com. Esoteric programming at its finest.
Our symbol, the trident, gifted to us by the priests of Troy Xenos centuries ago when one of the first monster hunting teams out of Corinth battled a contingent of Vrykolakas that had infested their temple. After the victory over the monsters, the head priest declared, "You are three lances acting as one, not unlike Poseidon's mighty trident of light. That would become our name, the Trident of Light, for the good we did and still do against the dark evils of this world."
Available at Amazon Books.
Follow us.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network. UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
If you're down and confused and you don't remember who you're talking to, concentration slip away, because your baby is so far away. Well, there's a road.
Hi, Mark.
Yes,
that's been Mark. What's up, man?
And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you with.
If you can't be with the one you love whatever you got. What all kind of message is that?
Solid logic, fellas. Solid logic.
Don't be angry.
Don't be sad.
Don't be sad. But don't sit crying over good time to have. There's a girl right next to you, and she's just waiting for something to do. And there's a rose in the twisted love, and the eagle flies with the girl. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Turn your hallway, right into joy. She is a girl, and you're a boy. Get it together, pick at night. Ain't gonna need any more advice. And there's a road in the misted light, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with.
In the background, oil pan girl.
Wow. Well, that was interesting.
Good song, though.
Nothing weird. No, I was happy. It was nothing crazy weird. Some reason I look like Michael, which is a little weird, but other than that, nothing crazy.
Lightsaber.
Now,
too,
wait, what happened to Sean, man? I'm at the text Sean. What's up with him?
I am Michael.
no,
we are men.
He's got to work early, so he's going to cash out tonight, but he'll be here tomorrow.
Baby,
or he'll be at the chat.
I hate when they're trying to work to poor man to death. Hey,
I heard he got his pickle stuck in a pumpkin, man. I don't know what that's all about.
Hey, I don't want to know those things. Okay.
It's not even the season for that yet, Mike.
It's a Pittsburgh.
There's no
Will
pumpkins
you
yet.
two shut up for a minute? Mark, look, I was going over that list you sent me with them 3 authors. Why don't you? I'm gonna give you a job if you don't mind taking it here. So right now, Arthur's Quill's probably booked for another 2, 4, 6, 8. I don't know, 12, 14 weeks, something like that, because we're finishing up the L. Ron Hubbard Awards. So we're doing 2. We usually do 4, but right now we're doing 2. So yeah, about 10 weeks. So anyway, but you can invite him on UFO Undercover. I tell you can invite him on here for an hour, but it gets a little crazy on here some nights. So we always tell people if because anybody who wants to come on here for an hour is fine. It's just they need to
be aggressive with your microphone.
No. Just come on for the first hour and don't hang around for anything longer than that, because once we get into politics and love affairs and things like that, God knows what's going to happen.
And don't be boring.
Guy with Mike either. I mean, you'll.
Well, no, they sound like interesting guests. I was going through the list. I mean, he sent me this like 2 months ago or 3 months ago.
Oh,
then I lost it. Then I found it. And then I thought I had 2 from him, but I guess only got one. Well, I also accidentally deleted 5,000 emails the other day. So, yeah, I get so much email. It's not funny, but not as much as I used to. I'm kind of got to watch. I'm getting a little hurt here, people. No, don't email me. I was just teasing. Don't email. Unless it's something important, don't email me. Or something to show.
Nothing to shake a stick at.
So, political, you can mail me for. UFO and alien stuff, you can mail me for. Station business, you can. I would prefer you to talk to Michelle though on station business. It's
use the chain of
command. She don't like when I no, she don't like when I go around. It does not make her happy. Let's put it that way. No, she is just not. And well, she's the boss, and she should know what's going on. Well, Fred Smith might be joining us tonight. You know what? Maybe I should send him I got his email somewhere. Where did I got it? I'm going to have to look it up and see. And I'll send him an invite. Let me grab an invite right quick. Fred is hosting a show. Matter of fact, he's the opening show for Fridays now. Yes, he starts us out. He's into quite a lot of stuff. He's an ex-Marine, cute-looking guy. And I'm sure he don't want to be referred to as cute, but he'll know what I mean.
I have many ex-Marine friends.
Johnny, well, we talked a little bit about the Uncle Pope. He's a Chicago boy, but so he spent most of his time in Peru. He's down there for 30 years. So he's more like a South American Peruvian Pope is what he really is.
He's a Republican from Chicago.
And I heard he smells terrific. He smells like potpourri.
Potpourri. Oh my God. These kind of jokes. I will not be able to take these people. I'll be running in the night screaming and stuff.
That's the only Pope joke I got.
Oh man. I'm happy they did it in 24 hours. I'm happy there's not a bunch of bullshit. I'm happy that they have a new Pope. Well, I'm not. I started out Catholic, yes. I know. Yeah, I've said that before. Today, no. Today, I'm non-denominational. How's that?
Yeah, I would consider myself non-religious.
Yes, I always, when people ask me, I always tell them I'm not religious. I'm spiritual.
I actually tell them I'm anti-religious. I think.
No, I don't tell them that because that just starts a argument where I have to educate them. So usually I don't want to do that. So I'm like, unless it's on the radio, and then who wrote me that? Mark? No, feel free. I'll give you. I'll send you an invite, motherfucker. You want to come get on here and get on a put your face up here with us. You know, and if you're scared to put your face, you can just use your mic. Yeah, come on. You got the invite now. You ain't got no bullshit. Just all you got to do is follow the instructions on that link. It don't matter what kind of phone you on, what kind of computer you're on. It doesn't matter what fucking part of the world you're on. Click that link and you'll be here with us. Yeah, I ain't gonna use the pussy.
We'll have to drink our blood, though. Did you tell them that?
Yeah,
you have a blood cocktail, man.
Hey, look, y'all should be grateful we took away Naked Admin Fridays. I mean, it could be a horrible thing.
True, yeah.
It could be a scary ass thing.
God for that.
No, really, Jay. In the old days on Pal Talk, we had Naked Admin Fridays. So whoever was hosting a support group on Fridays had to be naked. No, really. No, I'm serious. So if you support it, hey, Laura Lee, I call her like 8 different names, so don't give me shit about it. But anyway, so they on Friday nights it was always Naked Admin Friday. So whatever admins were hosted on Friday night running the support group had to be naked. Yes.
Oh no!
Oh Jesus!
I want to know about Josie.
It's good.
Machine. I got. I mean, can Josie the Pussycats like sue Jeff Bezos?
Well, you would think, or even Austin Powers, because it's the same thing. Austin Powers did the same joke.
And you see the abuse I have to put up with her right here. I swear.
Come on,
I swear. Where's the bourbon when I need it? Where's that freaking
thing? Look at that.
Oh, see, now I can't even drink my Crown Royal because I won't be able to replace
They're
it.
identical.
Them evil Canadians won't sell me no more Crown Royal.
Right there. It's like
we got it all up here, and it's the price of liquid gold, anyways.
I mean, there's a reason why swords and bullets and things are all shaped in that way.
Weren't all the women that went up like musicians, man? Was I mean, like I don't know.
Dale King is not a musician.
Fantasy.
You had two scientists on board. You actually had two legit scientists on board.
Really? Yeah.
One was actually even running experiments. Ooh.
Well, where's the footage? Because they've thrown that same device up in the air before, and there's always a camera on board that shows the people's reaction when they come down to Earth. They haven't shown the interior footage of that. Let's see it.
There's a video that Mish sent us from Australia a couple weeks ago, and it was one of the first voyages on this, and it did not look like what those idiot women were doing.
Exactly.
The
device they stepped out of is completely different than the one that went up in the air.
And
I'm in space right now.
It was brought up. Yeah, there was no burn marks. There was nothing.
Oh shit! I mean,
this is my postulation on this.
I need something to hold my ponytail up.
This is my postulation on the whole thing.
A triumph for women all over the world.
No, I think it's a horrible.
Oh my god!
This is how Hollywood did it. Those women were sitting in that thing on the desert floor for like an hour, waiting for the live feed so they could come out and be opened up, and they came from outer space, whatever. The actual device, when you look at the crash of the device, to me it looks like AI. I'm sorry, it just does. But then when they show the thing they're coming up, it's already on a platform. How did it get on a platform when it landed on its belly? It's already raised up.
It had extra. Yes, they told you how that happened. Now, Jay, you weren't listening. They said that they had these little things that blow out on the side to cushion the landing, so that everybody wouldn't get whiplash.
But it wasn't a metal platform. It was sitting on a metal platform.
Boobs that popped out.
Give me a break. It was so fake.
Double B's all over, and boom, it bounced.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom, bada bing.
I'm going with my expertise in video. I actually have a degree on the wall. It says I'm an expert in video. The landing, that thing and the smoke, it's AI. It's fake.
I have a degree on the wall. It says "bad motherfucker."
Oh God, he's replicating again. Jesus.
School
Someone
hard
called Linda
knocks.
and had to go in there. He's replicated again.
Joe, you're not using all the spots tonight to send out the show.
No, because I got to go do the two rumbles. They were screwing around. I'm getting ready to go check them again, but right now.
Got Joe in stereo.
You gotta turn one mic off, dude.
Just go add a bunch of thingies. You're still
get up and dance, man. Shake that money maker. Come on, give the audience something to remember.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
I'll play some stripper music.
To play the can. That's the traditional one.
All right, we're at it.
Boom.
Shake that.
Those women are just a butt. My God, I remember I said the first night they set women back by 100 years. And Sean said, I'm honestly asking you why. And I said, good Lord, they look like bimbos. We're astronauts. We're putting the ass back in astronauts, and we're bringing glam.
Here's the definition of outer space. They didn't reach it. Okay, they reached. I forget the name of it. It's some certain line. It's 62 miles up in the atmosphere, and it's used for political reasons to designate for like military purposes. Space zone. So if you enter from outer space in certain under this 62-mile-an-hour zone, you have breached someone else's airspace zone.
The space between their ears is more dense.
That humans have put up there. Real space actually doesn't occur till 600 miles up. And get those girls up there and let them float around and throw up all over themselves.
Yeah, but the real people that went up 3 years ago, they were actually strapped in. Their hair wasn't flying all over.
That's the same device, and it only goes up again 62 miles. They didn't.
It was like an elevator, man. It went up and came down.
They're at the top.
They didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to push a button. They just laid there. So, but for them to say like
they became the woo girls and
advancement of
went up on a
feminism.
ride.
How is it an advancement of feminism? A bunch of women went along for a free ride. They got strapped in. They didn't have to do anything, and the billionaire paid for it. How is that advancement of women?
They got strapped in, and the public got strapped on. Give
They
me a
did
break.
not get strapped in. That's the thing.
Yeah,
they were running
that's the
around like
thing.
the woo girls. Don't you guys remember the woo girls from Friends? That's what they were. A bunch of girls up there running around with their hair flying all over. Woo! Woo!
I know some amazing women. They don't
Katy
get
Perry's
showcased.
crying the blues, and it's been posted everywhere that she's complaining. People are using her like a human pinata. They can't she can't understand why she's not getting respect after this marvelous space flight she did.
This camera makes me look red, man. What's going on with this?
It looks like you got slapped in the face, man.
Sunburn. I turned mine on really bright. See, Sean, I scared him away last night because I told him we should wear jammies, and Joe popped in and he said he was going to wear snobby doo pajamas.
What do you think I'm wearing? Up here, it's business. Down there, it's jammies.
Okay, weirdos.
Oh yeah, down there is.
Yeah, I hung out in your show for a while.
I'm going commando right now, baby.
Michelle didn't even know I was in hers. I was there helping her.
T-shirt and boots. That's right. Put that in your memory.
Did you see the video? You probably didn't, Jay.
You never know when the boss is around.
I haven't had a chance yet. No, it's still in my.
No, what James O'Keefe caught on camera, undercover on camera, the Fergie's ex-boyfriend, and close. He admitted everything Prince Andrew did. He was drunker than a skunk He didn't know he was on camera, and he got it. He released it. That's why I sent you guys.
Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to look at it, but yeah, that was still kind of shocking to see that. Now, but remember what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, and then I said, not surprising.
Not surprising, but we'll see how long this gentleman is still on this earth, I guess, after that one.
But it just seems worldwide, no matter what continent they're from, if they come from money, if they're born into great wealth, they have very, very strange and specific proclivities, mostly illegal.
So they're saying at 62 miles you have a heated reentry.
Oh, Joe's not done with this yet. Okay, sorry, Joe.
No, I was looking. I just wanted to check the mileage on it.
Yeah, but you're not unaffected by gravity. A and B, you're not in actual outer space. You're in a position where yes, if you were to be ejected from that capsule, you would die. But if you were in outer space without suits, the way they were set up, you would be dead.
If they went up in the air, I don't think they did.
So it's considered
because they weren't wearing pressure suits.
It says it's considered the Cayman line,
it's
considered the boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space.
Read deeper into that. It's as a political border. It's not a legitimate thing.
No, this says heated reentry. That's what I actually asked the question was.
Make it outer space though.
But I wanted to know how far, because they said they went 62 miles. But there was no scorches on the thing. So this says they should have had
beginning of space, which I'm calling it bullshit because the definitions that I've seen say that it's used as a political sort of, the line in the sand. You cross this and we're going to shoot back at you. Kind of
what
thing.
About the door snafu when they supposedly landed, guys?
Yeah.
They're actually saying, Jay, they don't even have to go that high to feel a heated pressure coming back down following free. So this actual whole article proves
the SR-71 flies at a level that's so high that the skin goes to like 3,000 or 4,000 degrees instantly.
Well, God, if Jeff Bezos built such a great craft, I don't even get scarred, man. We need to give him all the work. I'm just
it's heated reentry. That doesn't mean necessarily fire.
Maybe it had KY all over it, and then it had miraculously saved it from outside. KY is good for reducing friction.
It's heated. It doesn't
say
fire.
That on the label. It's all about the friction, dude.
It's anyways, 60 to 100 miles before you're in deep space. I mean, into regular space out there floating around, depending on where you are.
Okay, I sent you the one from 3 years ago that they actually, I don't think they went to space, but I think they actually might have done something. They just regular human beings compared to, and I didn't find this. Michelle Pratt did. and sent it on.
It was a bunch of rich people messing around, doing something only something rich can do, and then they floated that in front of American workers who right now are paying 3 times the amount of money for food, and then suffering in their own right. And these guys pull a stunt only for rich people. So it just goes to show you the lack of compassion and humanity among this scum, among that scum. So they could do whatever, say whatever. That idiot, she's out there now dressing with all this, weird space stuff going on stage. They're just all a bunch of robots, man. But they don't get how people are living. And what's funny? A lot of people are leaving Hollywood behind. A lot of people aren't going. They're not going to movies. They don't want TV. Mm-hmm. They don't want that. They're looking at YouTube. Original people. They want original stuff. They don't want something scripted or pre-planned and or something being pushed down your throat.
Because
right?
You get the truth from people, and you feel like you're a part of the conversation and in the room with people that are doing what we're doing. That's why everybody and their dog wants to do a podcast. But as I was saying the other day, it wasn't on air. It was off air. Not everybody's meant to be a podcaster. Because some people are worse than watching paint dry.
Oh, yeah. There's some of them out there like that.
But Laura Lee, in their defense, sometimes, depending on what kind of paint is applied to the wall, watching certain paints dry can give you a good buzz.
Oh, maybe, but okay, I'm saying watching, not smelling.
Hey, you gotta be in the room, so if you don't open the windows, you might get a headache at the end of the night. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. But then you're going to another planet, maybe, or something when you're dealing with.
So right now, India and Pakistan are pounding it out, and they're both threatening nuclear war against each other.
Yeah.
I mean, Pakistan responded today, and they blew the crap out of a lot of stuff. A lot of people saying New Delhi's being attacked and whatever. There's a lot of dead people. It's not like.
The resort town Kashmir is where it all began. India sent.
Yeah, they've been fighting. You know what? They've been fighting there for forever. They've been fighting there forever, man. But now it's push come to shove. So 1, what do you think is going to happen in this situation? Number 2, who do we support as the U.S.? I mean, because we sold weapons to both of these characters.
Oh, we support India.
India's got the money and the population.
Well, yeah, I would have to say, if we have to choose one, Pakistan did garner or house Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, they're not our friends.
No. We're no matter what, we're back in India because we can't have India and China become friends.
Well, we can't have Pakistan and China become friends either. But
so what about this? The Chinese are threatening to step into Kashmir and then stop both India and Pakistan from fighting because they don't want the nukes going off in their backyard.
Yeah, well, then that's for sure. The nukes will go off in their damn backyard.
If they do, and they're threatening, if they do nuke each other, I'll bet China sends their own nukes as well. I would not be surprised. And if they do that, India is a part of the NATO Union, is it not? It's part of the UN.
Yeah, it's NATO, and it's a Commonwealth of Britain anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
If China hits it with the nuke, NATO's going to hit them with nukes.
All right, where was Sean? We need him with Gloom and Doom J, man. Okay, we need Sean. That's what Sean calls him, Gloom and Doom J.
And it says it in the charter.
Oh my God!
One is an attack upon all. You attack England's territory, we're going to come back at you.
You love Trump now, so he's good to go. And I don't know, these things just won't pick up Rumble for some reason tonight. I think it's some kind of issue with it. I just won't pick them up.
India and Pakistan will go out of control, and I think they've been dying to settle each other's hash for a lot of years. Now there's innocent people being killed, whole neighborhoods being wiped out. Apparently, Pakistan took out 70% of India's power grid. The whole India, the whole country. India's denying it, but then they went dark after they were reporting that. So, I don't know, man. I mean, the crazy thing is a lot of people in the Pentagon that would like to see what happens if nukes get used. And then also you got the Himalayan mountains there, nice little area of containment. Who knows? Who knows? You know what? There's a lot of turmoil in the world.
Well, if they're able to cut off enough power to cut off communications with India worldwide, we can only rely on, from that point on, military intelligence, and we're not going to get that on the NBC nightly news.
If you can even trust that. My thing
If
is,
you
you
can
know
even
what's
trust
sad
that,
about
yeah.
this? It's a bunch of people in government playing these power games, and the people that suffer are the people that live there that are innocent.
And over
At the
here,
same time, India has
everyone
restricted their airspace, same as Pakistan. India is a huge manufacturer now, so that's going to send shockwaves through manufacturing. You know, China's going to love it because they want to be able to get rid of tariffs and then start selling us crap again. You know what I mean? Or still,
What makes you think if that wasn't manufactured in a way to make that happen?
I can say one cool thing. This rock is a Shivalingam stone, and it came out of the Ganges, which is the main river, which is also, I think, one of the most polluted things on the planet. I shouldn't probably even touch that rock.
There's no dinosaur poop.
No,
Every kind of poop you can think of is what I was thinking.
I don't think it's a fossil, but
I think that's
I have a piece of India in case it goes.
That's Ahmed after he had
It's one of Amber turds.
Yes, yes.
Hey, like I said, it's the most polluted river
that's
on
off
the
mid's
planet,
freaking
but
stone, man.
I've
You know,
got
the
a
Ganges,
Ganges River
people
turd
die
right
in the
here.
Ganges.
Hey,
There's
one at a
more
time.
stuff dead in there than alive in the Ganges River. My God, that's some guy's kidney stone who kind of just
I would not.
who went jumped in like he couldn't
in
take the
that
pain
river
anymore.
ever.
Now Jay in Pennsylvania's got his kidney stone. You're holding it up. What a country! You know what I mean? Like the fact that we even have access to some shit like that.
I got 3 of those about that same size. I got 3 of them from Jim Coleman's crystal mines in Arkansas.
That's cool.
He shipped them to me. Yeah, they were badass. I think I paid $150 for all 3 of them. Shipped.
My friend, I have a friend who used to deal in the geodes. You know, the big geodes, man. But he used to go down to Brazil.
I'll write it down in the private chat. Jim Crystal's crystal mines.
This guy used to go down to Brazil, man, and get
you'll love
geodes.
it.
Okay,
they're
well,
amazing.
Thunder Bay is not. We have amethysts everywhere. Amethyst mines. We're known for Super 7s or like 23, right where we live in the area. But you can just. My kid brought me home a couple big chunks of amethyst. He was going out swimming at one of the water holes on the outside of the city, and he said, "Yeah, they were just sitting on the path. There's all kinds of amethyst mines and stuff." But yeah, please put it in the chat. I'll check it out.
There you go.
Upstate New York's got a ton of that. Herkimer diamonds and that type of thing.
Those are beautiful. Herkimer diamonds.
Yeah, you can go like mining. They give you a bucket. It's like $5 or $6, whatever.
I'm a fan of a new stone they recently discovered. I think they have mines in either Western Virginia or West Virginia.
I do crystal Reiki, so I have tons and tons and tons of crystals because So
you need to check this thing out. I'll go get it. It's a black opal. Ooh. So you know how opals are kind of white and they're like you turn them and they're like rainbow crystally. Yeah. This is like that, except for it's black, and you turn it and it's like green and red and purpley.
No, it's Australian opal.
And I made my own ring. It looks like a black. What's the guy? Green Lantern ring.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's probably Australian opal. That's what color Australian opal is.
I'm not sure where the mine is. I thought it was on the East Coast here, or maybe it might be in.
It might be, but I mean, usually when you see black opal like that with purple and blue and all in it, it's usually Australian.
That's not common in North America.
No, I had never heard, and it's my birthstone. Opal's my October birthstone, and it's always been kind of girly. I was like, ew.
Yeah, it was Linda. It was Linda's too. So there was a lot of opals purchased. It's just bites.
I'm gonna go get it. So.
I think that's cool that you got Herkimer diamonds that cheap because to buy them online, holy cow, they cost a fortune.
Yeah, you can go mine your own. I mean, everybody finds something there. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, that's cool. That's what the amethyst is like up here. So
they have that too. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. It's interesting though. The whole region that over by Albany, that whole region. Cool. Yeah, pretty good. It's all glaciers. It's all formed by glaciers, and we got.
You want to see stones? Go to Arkansas. There's so many crystals there that people line them in their front. I'm not talking little crystals. I'm talking big, white, silver, clear crystals. They just line their yard with them. There's so many of them. Wow. They like put barriers around their fence. It's insane to see them.
That's cool.
I was down there lecturing. I think I was at Hot Springs Plus. The mineral water there is fabulous. I mean,
volcano, man, it's volcanic.
Well, they got underwater hot tubs there. I mean, underwater mud baths. You go underneath and you go walking.
Let's go, man. Laura Lee, we're going.
Okay, we're going.
Yes. Oh no, from what I hear, it's really, really nice. I can't say any more than that. And then
I'll get an RV, put the cat in it, man. We're gone.
All the parks have springs, and all the springs they make go to one place. But
I missed that. Can you hold that up, Jay? Sorry, Joe. I just missed that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Get Sean.
You can't really see the green. That's a black opal. There's the green.
Beautiful.
Go up, get Michelle.
It's
pretty cool. Up close, it looks different. But I made it and it fits.
Oh, you made it?
Yeah. There's a I don't know if you can see, there's a hole in the bottom there.
Yeah.
You put the jewel in it, and then there's little metal pins that you
I make jewelry, but I don't do silversmithing or anything, so that's kind of cool.
No, well, I bought this from Jewel TV, and I bought the rock and this ring separate.
Oh, okay.
Married them together. Well, I think it was altogether like $60.
Oh, that's reasonable. Yeah. Well, I was late because I'd finally hacked my 3D printer to get it working, so it was using my computer. I had to wait for it to finish printing.
I'll send you a scan. You can make your own.
Okay.
I can't do that. I don't have that capability.
Don't we have a break coming up? God, please send me to a break for us.
In 3 minutes, sir.
I got music, man.
We're not getting kicked off, are we? Because we got no.
Yeah, we ain't got no rumble tonight, so don't get us kicked off, man.
No, we can get kicked off from this, man. Should I play it?
We got a couple minutes, then we'll go. Well, you got to wait till the promos play anyway. You got to wait till the last promo, and Jay hit it seamlessly last time. What are you doing? All right. Well, is that like hookers in LA or something? It's just like, what's going on here, man?
Joe, hookers need love too, man. You know what I mean?
Oh man, it just reminded me of seeing this in LA. Jesus. They it's funny when you're driving from the airport in LA, so you get in the airport, a bunch of high-end homes and shit, and then all of a sudden they got all these homeless people living all over in front of all these high-end little camper trailers and shit set up in front of all these high-end homes. Then you take another street and it's like hook of heaven. You're driving down, and it's so funny. It's so funny because the automated cars don't know how to deal with hookers.
Oh my gosh!
So they just walk out in front, and the car just stops. So they can walk around and talk, and then the car takes off.
I don't know if you all remember back in the 90s.
Fucking shit is too funny.
You all remember back in the 90s, HBO had this like a reality show special all about hookers. And
how did I miss that?
I know.
I mean, it was entertaining.
Oh, Jesus.
But it always dawned on me that these areas where these hookers were, these women dressed in these ways. I mean, they're basically like naked or wearing just underwear, walking down the street. I'm like, if I was a cop, I'm like, I would arrest that one and that one and that one and that one and that one, like right away. I mean, why don't
that was New York City, man? Tunnel bunnies. They hang out by the tunnels. Yeah, they call tunnel bunnies, man.
Really?
Yeah, they all got wearing lingerie, whatever. It's crazy.
Okay, we got to get back to the news. None of this has anything to do with real news. Save this shit for tomorrow night.
Yeah,
it's
news.
The song figures in because Dodge is requesting every state hands over the list of all their SNAP recipients, man. So they're going to start trimming whatever they think they can trim, but the states are resisting.
If the IRS is paying people that are 605 years old, tax returns, then you bet the coach is going to find all kinds of shit
what?
there.
But SNAP, you know what I mean? There's no way they can cut people off of SNAP because they don't know the programs, the people. You know what I mean? Like it really should be up to the states to do something like that. But they're going to end up hurting a lot of people because there's nobody really on SNAP that, I mean, there's people that abuse the system, but I think for the most part, those people are getting fed. You know what I mean? Like,
according to the Democrats and Republicans, it's the least abused system out of all of them.
Yeah, but you can use your EBT card for other stuff than just food. So, and then there's stores that do that on purpose. They'll do their hair, nails, and whatever. They take EBT and they charge it.
As we're getting ready to go out here for the breaks, and I'll grab some promos just in a minute. Let's not forget that who's up for trial now, in his trafficking self. So was he trafficking children or just adults? Was Jennifer being trafficked? I mean, what was going on with P. Diddy?
I'll tell you, man, she knows a lot of stuff.
Diddy. But anyway,
Lopez.
we got to go to break. We'll save P. Diddy for when we come back.
I'm watching the Karen Reed trial right now. I already did the Diddy stuff. Karen Reed, holy cow, that's where it's at. I'm telling you, holy cow.
All right,
they got the retrial for what Henderson or Hindaz brothers or whoever they are. They're trying to get that one too. Yeah, you remember people.
We're playing our song. We don't want to be late. Break.
Promos go first. Music comes.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast.
We'd like to get people the music to watch.
This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Whoa, yeah.
With a hot food, Jack in the Box, KFC, Subway, El Pollo Loco, Rally's Burger, most of the donuts.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
What's
up? Shops, the burger stands,
Woody barbecue. Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Markets, some of the beauty supply stores on Crenshaw and Rainbow on La Brea. You can buy you some clothes. How much you got on your EBT card? Girl, I got enough to get it turned up. I done took the kids to the babysitter. Which liquor store take the EBT card? Where y'all get that Patron last time?
Public service announcement. This is where the taxpayer money goes.
It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free.
You had me to get it all. 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 State of California, I need to warn ya. Free welfare, free dental, free food. Mama say she can't take me to school. I am hungry and we get free food. Free housing, free daycare, free clothes. This is where the taxpayer money goes. A bugger in my nose. We all share chonies and socks. Did mama check come in the mailbox? All you have to do is fuck. And 9 months later, you're getting a big bucks. But all you have to do is fuck. And 9 months later, you're getting a big bucks. All you have to do is fuck. And 9 months later, you're getting a big bucks. But all you have to do is fuck.
It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free.
You had me to get it all. You had me to get it all. You and me to get it all. California, wake up. If they don't get their money, they gon' kick your butt at the county building. Running the line. It's too late. They not passing out any more vouchers for Section 8. It's too late. They not passing out any more vouchers for Section 8. They turn me away. All you have to do is fuck. And 9 months later, you're getting the big bucks. But all you have to do is fuck. And 9 months later, you're getting the big bucks. All you have to do is fuck. And 9 months later, you're getting the big bucks. But all you have to do is fuck. And 9 months later, you're getting the big bucks. It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free. You and me to get it all. You and me to get it all. You and me to get it all. You and me to get it all.
Y'all need to be sitting here now. Let me go get this Subway.
Hot Cheetos.
Some Starburst.
Fish and fish fries.
Jolly Ranchers.
Lemonade.
Hey, Mama, what they approve us for Section 8?
Because I don't want to go to Greenhouse anymore.
Want some Airheads?
Hot Cheetos. I'm some nachos. Oh, I want some pizza, noodles, ravioli. Oh, I want a pickle with some Kool-Aid.
See, that's just ghetto.
Too much stuff.
It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free.
You and me to get it all. You and me to get it all. You and me to get it all. You and me to get it all.
Okay.
Now that song's gonna be going through your head forever. It's free.
Yeah.
Swipe your
Thanks,
EBT.
Michael. Jesus.
That was a little bit. Well, I can't say racist, but it was definitely
well, I was gonna say, Laura Lee, that it's a shame a black woman is blaming the problem on black people.
Yes.
When in America, the majority of people that are on EBT and SNAP are white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these guys weren't saying anything about being black. I didn't hear anybody saying anything about being black. They're just EBT. It's a neighborhood. They have EBT.
Everyone
black.
in the video was black. Who else are they blaming?
The visual.
White.
It was the visual.
Yes, but so what?
If you think it's racist, that's in your own mind. That's very funny. That's
very
funny. You guys are racist.
Racist.
You're racist. You're racist.
Trying to promote.
Joe's the one who played it.
Yeah, you ain't putting that on me. Yeah, no, we all knew that was a Michael song.
He paid me to do it, man.
Because that means Joe's gonna have to delete it.
Gave me $1, and I said, "Yeah."
They ain't nobody gonna monetize the show with that on it.
He said, "I'll buy you a Coke," and I thought he said, "You gonna give me some Coke," and I got misunderstood.
No more crack from Michael.
I didn't get no Coke, no nothing.
Yeah, I think that's more like crack. We're cutting him off. See, you wonder why I banned him from playing music on the station. Oh
That's
my
one
God.
of my excuses. I was hanging out with Marion Barry. You know what I mean? Like
There you go.
we were in a small room together. He was smoking something. I don't know what happened.
You were smoking something, all right.
That's my excuse number 99 in the Michael Angley book of excuses.
That whole fiasco. That was the funniest thing that ever happened. I was in DC when all that went down. It was just unbelievable. I remember that I was watching the news at he was arrested live on the news at 11:30. I remember watching it live, going, "Oh my God!"
and he got reelected and whipped out his crack pipe and laughed.
The same year he got out of prison, he gets reelected as mayor of DC.
Mayor of Washington D.C., most powerful city, really.
One would say,
in terms of politics.
And the mayor of Toronto, and his brother is the premier. He's no longer alive. Rob Ford was making all the talk shows all around in North America, big ones, because he was the mayor of Toronto and was doing all that stuff.
Trump had his big meeting with your guy up there in Canada, and then he's like, he said, Canada's not for sale, and Trump's like, we're not buying it. And then you should see the way J.D. Vance looked at the guy. There's some black magic, voodoo, Santeria going on. Something. He looked. You should see the way he looked. I would say that guy in Canada, I'll give him 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Are you talking premier or are you talking prime minister? Because prime minister, I have yet to meet one person that voted for him.
The prime minister, I guess, the one that met with Trump the other day.
Oh, him. Well, he's part of the WEF, and he hasn't lived in Canada for the last 13 years. And they kicked Polyev right out. Polyev was the head of the Blue Party, the Democrats, or not Democrats. Sorry, my brain's on American politics. Anyways, he lost his seat in his riding. Another guy tried to give it up that won it so that he could get back in because he's done. They kicked him right out. Like he doesn't even have a seat, not a chance at politics.
Like they did with Biden.
Oh, way worse than that. Yeah. Yeah. That guy's a bad guy that's running our country. We got some scary stuff coming. I would be happy if Trump assumed us. I'm sorry, but I would be compared to what we got running now. We're stuck with him forever.
Well, what would happen if that did happen? He would be reduced to what, like governor, or?
I would just hope he'd just go back to where he came from, back over to Europe.
Go back into his hole and hide.
Remember we played last week the video from his wife. His wife, right after they announced his win, that what do you say? Canada's going to be poor.
Yeah, he would make sure that they would do something and be poor, and she's like. That was wow.
I already knew he was going to win. That guy came out of nowhere. Carney came out of nowhere, and it was like, oh, I see what's going to happen here.
Trump helped him out. It kind of sucked, but he gave him a good push because they showed where his numbers were before Trump, and before Trump started on a terrace, and after Trump started on a terrace. I still don't understand liberals over there. I'm like, look, you went all the way down to like 5%, 10%, but because Trump said something, y'all going to go right back to the bad policies you had before. So that don't make any sense.
There's no way, is what I am insinuating, except for maybe some elderly people that remember back in the old days of the liberals that voted for this guy. I am serious. I have talked to so many people, not just locally. And I don't talk to every person in my country, obviously, but I have yet to meet one person that has said, yeah, I voted for him. And it's not the same thing as in the States. If you say you vote for Trump or who you vote for, there's a big fight. Like people could just say it. Like most people can't understand. And plus he announced that he won. The polls weren't even closed. Like, how'd you win? I knew he was going to win as soon as I saw this guy's name there. And when I went into his history, I went, oh yeah, okay. You can see the writing on the wall. You guys get stuck with one for 4 years. We're stuck with them forever.
Yeah.
Like Canadian underwear. It's forever. People don't want to get rid of it, man.
Oh, God.
But it'll get pretty rough, so he probably won't last long.
How are we going to get rid of him, Joe?
Because it's going to get rough, and they're going to make him go. He's going to have to go away.
J.D. Vance is going to go shake his hand.
What we tried to do to get rid of Trudeau, and Trudeau didn't have the people backing him that Carney does. I'm telling you, he's going to be in for a while, unless something happens to make him go away. But that's going to have to be pretty big.
Probably when y'all are paying like $25 a gallon for gas, that'll be a good start.
Joe, you see what happened?
Look at this way. 3 weeks ago, we wouldn't have thought, India and Pakistan would be, throwing blows at each other. Who's to say that, next week?
You guys forgot. We had the trucker rally. Okay, we tried to play nice, and Canadians and a whole bunch of people went and protested. I watched live what happened to those people, and it's still going through the courts. The people that organized that trucker rally, peaceful things to happen. They're still in jail, some of them. They can't get out of jail. It's been said it's unconstitutional. Nothing. There's nobody backing them up. So I don't care. They won't care because people can't get along. Like you say to people, you just put your differences aside, all pull together. Yes, there is more of us than them, but we don't have the pow-pows that you guys have. We're not allowed to have that. And they know that. I'm telling you, it's going to be a sorry state before we get rid of this guy.
Well, it's going to be weird anyway when you have to go through checkpoints to get in and out of your country
Yep.
because
Mm-hmm.
so it's funny that two provinces contact the United States. That's weird. So that means they think they have the vote.
15-minute cities already. And
Yeah,
they're talking about Alberta and Saskatchewan are trying to separate right now. But
Yeah,
Quebec
'cause-
tried this back in the day and it didn't happen. But Alberta's got all the money because they don't pay taxes either. They're the only province in Canada that doesn't pay taxes. They're well off financially because they got all the oil. So if anybody could do it, they probably could.
Yeah.
Separate.
Well, I know there was I guess you would call him an envoy sent to Trump. And because they said there's three, but those were the two that actually contacted him. And all Trump basically, or the response was basically, well, as long as it's legal. Because Trump has no problem. He would tell Canada to go F off right now. He said, oh, well, they want to come be states. That's fine. Well, Commonwealth, they wouldn't make them states.
It wouldn't be a bad decision to take Alberta, though, because Alberta has the money. Like I said, they don't pay any provincial taxes. We're in Ontario, we pay 13% on every dollar. And then
Maybe
against
we
the
could
American
steal
dollar,
BC. It would be nice.
$40 versus your American dollar if I want to buy something in the States. Plus now there's tariffs on it. Plus there's duty. Plus I still got to pay all the taxes when it comes back here. It's astronomical. So Alberta would be a good choice. And I think the third one, I heard rumors it was British Columbia. So it'd be that whole West Coast, and Alaska's right above it. So it wouldn't be a bad decision, right?
No, it'd actually be a pretty good deal for the United States. But it would crush half of y'all's population, so it would not be a good thing for Canada. And then the U.S. would just say, well, look, we've got this half, what the fuck? We also have the other half. Come on, guys, stop being an ass.
Not happy, I can tell you. Now, I just got sent something. The minute you turn 65 now, there's a new ruling that's gone through. Automatic medical testing as well as driver's tests every 2 to 3 years.
Well, what are people saying in Canada?
They don't do that here. Then I think after you start losing certain faculties after a certain age, and you should.
What are people saying in Canada? What are your neighbors saying? What are your friends saying up there? Like, are they saying
exactly what I'm saying right now? I've talked to my neighbors. I've talked to friends all over. Like I'm telling you, I have yet to run it, because normally when there's an election, someone say, "Oh yeah, well I voted for him" or whatever, right? And it's like what somebody might say, "Ah, you idiot," or something, and move on from it. It's not a big deal. But I am telling you, I have yet to run into one person that has voted. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's Black Opal.
Ooh, I need to get me some of those.
That's on Etsy. It's like $12 is like the cheapest one. Is for a count of like 5 or 6 2-carat pieces. I think I might buy some from this guy and then go to a jeweler and have a nice ring made for myself. There's some cool colors in there.
They're gorgeous. I'm just reading the comments. Richard says he stopped paying taxes 5 years ago. Heidi says, why is the government is that Poles? I think it says Poles.
Polis, Polis, Polis.
Okay, coming up to Canada. And this is making I haven't got my glasses on, BFF Day in March. I never heard that before this year. And same as Mish, they had their Australian election. I think Mish, you told me, right? Saturday. Was it last Saturday? They're in the same boat as we are. We don't have, whoever wrote your I know who wrote your Constitution. I'm just saying whoever wrote that Constitution, I don't know if they had a time machine, because it was written brilliantly, I think. Absolutely brilliantly.
Most of the time it works pretty good.
I can tell you the only cool thing about voting in this country is, let me get my bearings straight here. So the rudders is right there, a block and a half up. That's where I have to vote.
I just like to walk.
Yeah, I walk across the street and do it. Everywhere else I've lived, you had to drive, 5 or 10 minutes to go to either the high school or the junior high school, or the closest, biggest school near you.
Yeah.
I just say I vote, and it goes there. So
I would not be sad. I'm a terrible Canadian, maybe, but I would not be sad if we became part of the U.S., because I'm very concerned about our future.
Well, see, but I tell people all the time, it's not so much, we talk about this justly, but people have to remember, sooner or later, the planet has to unite, mainly because of resources. They have to be governed by one government. They can't be spread out the way they are today. we have to. The only way we're going to really start colonize and really get out into the universe is to be a one world government. It'll be much easier. I mean, we can go as Russia and China and the United States, but it's going to be a lot more complicated. It's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, but who gets to decide, right? It's the people with the money, the way things are going. If you look at Agenda 2030, and that concerns me.
It's either that, or you go by either political or military strength. And right now, America is the most politically strongest.
But the person that is going to Mars is Elon Musk. He's going to bring the people. He's going to bring the money. He's going to bring the food. He's going to bring the spaceships. He's doing all of it. And here's one guy doing this versus the United States that should be doing it itself.
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned food. One of the things that you mentioned food, and I literally was just watching before the show. I was watching here on this computer the Sam Kinison, his joke thing about the hunger. You live in a desert, move to where the food is. That would be one key major thing because allegedly there is technology that can end world hunger. Why don't they do that? Well, because it doesn't make them any money, but
it's the reason why we still have cancer and we have major disease.
Right. But yes. You may not make any money making free food worldwide, but you will become extremely fucking popular giving everybody free food. If I had a replicator like they have on Star Trek in my wall, I could go up and I want 3 tacos, blah, 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 on them. And I'd eat tacos every day of the week. I guarantee you I'd have at least 1 taco a day, every day of the week.
I hear what you're saying,
a pound of bacon every morning.
I hear what you're saying too, Joe, about eventually, yes, we have to kind of unite all together, but that's the problem. Who makes the decisions to be the one world government?
The ones with the money, unfortunately, that's the thing.
Well, this is different.
But no, she's right. But the other key factor is the people that have the money. They got it because the things they got the money from, they're able to put a meter on it and sell it to you. You can't meter the air. If they could, I guarantee you, every government would tax you for air. How they're able to make you pay for water, which is...
I was just going to say that. Look at bottled water.
No, not even that. Just to get the water into your house is like $300. Which for us, it's like, $150, $200, something like that every 3 months.
To clean that shit, man. All that's right now to cost money.
Yeah, all right, but still...
And the bigger the dirtier the city, the more it costs.
Enough, they don't have to. But since it's water, they can run it through something, and they can literally put a meter on and go, "Oh, you ate, you drank 5,000 gallons this month. Well, you owe us $400."
And yet, we don't have enough to eat, but they're running around with beautiful cellular phones.
And listen, I don't even drink. I'm gonna move my camera. I don't even drink tap water anymore. I buy. Let me see if I can.
I think it's a nice idea to have.
A 5-gallon thingy. I get those.
Yeah.
That's all I drink from because it doesn't have fluoride in it.
Yeah. But my concern is, like, I can see it's a nice principle and it's a nice idea and it makes sense. But the problem is, who decides who's in charge? If we can't get along as countries, can you imagine the world trying to decide on a one world government? So I think what's going to happen.
It's not as hard as you think it is. It's in the beginning, it would be.
Get along as countries now. How are you going to?
No. 100 of the countries worldwide already get along pretty well. 2/3 of them can play nicely.
Different cultures, different religions, different ideals, and you're all.
But so the Americas can unite pretty fast. We have a lot of commonality, so those continents can become one really quickly. And with that powerhouse by itself, with 2 billion people and all the manufacturing, and since most of the minerals on the planet are on this side of the fucking planet, it gives them complete control. So Europe would just join.
Over the weaker countries, Britain control, which still isn't right.
No, what do you mean? It's not control. So it's controlling the countries that are not part of it. Yes. But the ones that are part of it are making money just like anybody else. So it would just be based. It would probably be based on more of a democracy than a republic, but still, maybe something in between. But it would be based along those lines. We have basically the same constitution. The only difference is in the beginning, whatever the base country would be the only one that got to elect the world leader. Everything else would be just like it would be for any other country.
That's not a democracy.
That is a democracy.
Because
in the beginning, you can't give India and China 3 billion votes. You just can't do it.
Well,
it's not fair to the rest of the world. It's why America has a whatchamacallit college, because of those kind of things. So it would be like that, and the world would agree with that's not even the hard part. That's pretty much the easy part. If you give it like a
so what if we were in power and another country like China or Russia decided they were more powerful, and because they were the ones with more power and more money, they're going to do all the voting to govern the rest of us? How would we all feel about that?
But that's not how it's going to work. So first off,
China we need to look at how other people feel about it. Not everybody.
But if you're going to one world, it's going to be all states, and like Canada itself would probably be 50 states.
Yeah,
easy.
India would
Russia would be broke up, but India would be broke up. China would be broke up into at least 40 states. So each state breeds its own power, its own. You're going to have your own mayors, your own governors, the whole 9 yards. All of them are just going to answer back to the Congress that's picked by the people. By those people from those areas will pick their own representatives that will go to a Congress.
But
they won't have a choice. But no, you see, that's what you don't understand. When there's only one world government, there's only one military. There is no choice here. You either get along, or they sanction your ass right out of existence. There is no that. Once it's done, it's done. It is a democracy because everybody's going to vote on doing it. As long as they vote on it, it's a democracy.
As long as the majority rules, that's democracy.
That's right. They're going to vote on it, and everything will be voted on, and it'll be a much better place to live.
Just said nobody would have a vote. The people that had the power, the country that has the power,
they wouldn't. But that's the point. They wouldn't be countries with power anymore. With individual states. So in the United States, it's weird because we love our country. We all get along. We become one country. But in a real world scenario, we wouldn't be. We would be our own individual states, just like you'd be your own individual states. And states would be based on its power. It would elect its own mayors and its own governors. And those governors would be represented in whatever government there was going on. And then each one of those states would have representatives that would vote for them.
Yep.
All those representatives would go. So China can't get along inside of its own country by itself, so that's not even a real big problem. Neither can Russia, for that matter.
Also, the full amount, even if you erase all the borders, okay, let's say it's 1,000 years from now, there's no borders, there's one government. How do you elect a planetary president? You can't have the whole planet elect one dude. It's impossible. And you can't have the whole planet, send people to become president. Then you have, let's say you have 5,000 people that are voting that want to be president. You have to vote for 5,000 people, and then 8 billion people voting for these 5,000 candidates.
Now you see why the people with the money decided that they were going to have this.
But there won't be money. That's what you don't understand. There
won't be money, but still you
don't need money at that point.
The voting is going to be impossible. So it has to be at the regional level. So you have, like, let's say what was once India, all of India is now a bunch of states.
I understand it. I've looked into this very deeply, and I do not.
The point is that there won't be any money. So you're taking two things out of the bats right out the way. You're taking the military and money out.
And I
think the big problem.
Religion out of it too. You have
and actually, technically, you are taking religion out of it because each province will worship whatever the hell they want. So now you have religious tolerance. You're not fighting over money. You're not fighting over land or territory.
Of course, there'll always be some kind of currency. It'll be credits or whatever you call it.
It'll probably be more on.
Otherwise, everybody has a mansion. How do you afford that? How do you afford anything for that matter? You got to drive the economy, and driving the economy is purchase power, man.
Listen, if we have the technology that you're saying, that some of these guys that were in the know, some of the like black ops guys from Lockheed Skunk Works and John Lear, what they're saying is true, and we have the capacity to change matter and energy into whatever form we want.
Yeah, replicators aren't far off.
If you have the energy to run this device, you can go, hey, computer, give me a 105-room mansion. Boom. And it may take, 3 months for the computer to digitally create that for you, but boom, there it is.
So anyway, there'll be, and what'll happen is there'll be land restrictions based on the government, so that there can be people to look at it and stuff. So there's something to look at, but there won't. It's not. Once you have replicators, you don't need money because anything you want, you can have replicated. It's just you don't need. I mean, you want Mona Lisa? Well, you can't buy the original, but you sure the hell can make one just like it and hang it in your house.
You won't have to go to
You
the
want
store.
you want food, you want alcohol, whatever the hell you want is at your fingertips.
Clothes, guitars,
and the governments will give them to everybody, and if they break, they'll give you another one. Now where there might be credits, like what Michael was talking about, is if you want special things like off-world visitation without being part of a military.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
But other than that, there's not going to be a need for money. You're just not going to need it. All the basic necessities will be taken care of, plus a lot of other necessities will be taken care of.
Okay, here's a good question. How far in the future, if we stay on track and we don't blow each other up next week, how far into the future do you think it will take for us to really be done with money and monetary type trading?
Oh, let's see. Laura Lee's about 300,000 years old. By the time her next 300,000 year birthday rolls around, we might.
300,000 years from now. That's a good way. It's a way.
I'm just not adding more to this conversation because I don't.
Maybe actually, to be honest with you, and this is the truth of the whole matter. If somebody charismatic that can step up and that can catch the world's imagination, it can be done in less than a lifetime.
Willy
That's
Wonka?
how easy it is. No, I'm being serious. If you've watched our world, if the right person can step up and do it, it can be done in a lifetime. And most countries like China and India and Russia will give in to the fact that they're not going to get a vote for whoever's going to be president. But the Europeans will, and the Americans. It doesn't matter if they like it or not. At that point, they're in it for the same reason we are. You want to survive or not. So we found out something 2 days ago that Earth's not going to make it to the Big Bang. We're not going to make it to when our sun explodes. Our oxygen is going to die out in less than 1 billion years. No, it don't sound like long, but for a species who's trying to get out into the universe, that's like fucking around the corner.
We've either got to get off the planet or reduce the population so that we can grow more trees, or we're doomed. Yes.
Well, because what's going to happen is and by the way, so get this one. So we're all planets warming up. Well, they had to admit, because the oxygen the CO2 is burning up on our planet. And guess what? Our sun's getting hotter.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when the sun gets hotter? The CO2 starts to break down. When it finally gets to a certain point, there will be no more photosynthesis and there'll be no more Earth.
Yes.
At least not in the way we understand it today. So
on the bright side, Venus will start to become more like Earth, and we'll be able to move.
Yes, you know what's even better about this?
Or siphon Earth.
We didn't cause it.
Yeah.
So if that's really what's going on,
But on the same token, Joe, here's another thing that we could do is, and people aren't realizing this, if I can invoke Doom and Gloom J.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Something again ripped through this solar system and sucked almost the entire atmosphere and all the water off of Mars. Gone. Who's to say that doesn't happen to us? Some other thing comes through our solar system and comes so close to Earth, it siphons our water and atmosphere off. We'd all die instantly.
Well, if you guys watch that series, Paradise Sets Out, and on top of it, I was seeing there was some stories about almost similar to that series about there's a world catastrophe that happens, and some woman that is really high up in IT in the series ends up multi-billionaire and decides to build a city underground that'll hold I think it's 25, is it 50,000 people, 250,000 people? Anyways, there's no guns, there's no nothing. And she didn't know this catastrophe was coming. She kind of thought it was. So she's put all her money into this, built this city. And then when the catastrophe came, 2 people got to decide who got to go below. Everybody else on the earth was wiped out. Wow. And then there was something, I wish I would have thought to save it. I was reading, there was something they discovered, a couple billionaires around the world have built cities like this under the ground. So I thought it was funny how we're seeing this in a series and talking about this. And interesting. So
when you hear kitty cat meow 3 times.
That's my cat. I don't know what one.
If she does it 3 times in a row, it's the end of the world. So
end of the world. You know what? If it happens quick, it happens quick. And then you know what? Nobody knows what hits you anyways. Or as Richard said, fear doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah, there it is. It doesn't say what it's on. Yeah. Ouch, kitty cat.
Oh, are we having kitty wars?
No, my Bill's here and he wants to be petted and he likes to grab your hand and he uses his claws.
My cat bit me for the first time. That cat is 6.5 years old, and she walked up to me this morning, and just like fangs into me.
Jack Nicholson's daughter is in it.
She said, "Can I biatch?" That's what she was saying.
To add to that facility on the ground, one of Bush's former people just came forward saying that they built a $3 trillion facility on the ground for rich people. Like they accomplished the goal. They did it. That's an interesting story. I got to look for that story.
There are several allegedly underground bunkers built recently for the extremely insane. I mean,
the underground city.
Yeah. I wish I would have saved it. I couldn't believe I was doing some research on something else and this came up and I thought, God, that sounds like that series Paradise. I hope they put a second season in. It's by that guy. Is it Sterling K. Brown?
Yep.
Yeah. I know. Well, I saw him on Supernatural at first. He played Gordon. And then I think he's won a couple of Emmys. He's a really good actor.
Here's the cast. I'll get it up here. Top cast.
I don't know who was meowing because I didn't hear it. Maybe it was the ghost cat.
It's Bill. He's right here standing next to
me. No. See, Jay's cat broke the meow, so it's not 3 now, so it's good,
Okay,
no more end of the world scenario going on here.
I agree with you though, Joe. If we did have technology, and Jay, if we did have technology like replicators, that would certainly make things a lot less complicated.
It would change the world. It would end money instantly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to go to the store for clothes. You wouldn't have to go to the store for food.
Yes. Yeah. So, what's funny about that is so when you wanted to buy something or get something special, you would probably have to work for it.
Yeah, but you know what? I had this conversation with someone because they thought it was such a wonderful idea if nobody ever had to work. And I said over the last, almost 5 years, so it's not so much 4 years ago that we went through. A lot of people had great difficulty not having a job to go to every day.
Yes, because they were going batshit crazy.
Yeah, so how they
it would be the Hunger Games.
Gotta have a purpose, right?
The rich people would pit the poor people against each other. Ain't nothing you could do about it. It wouldn't be no peace and harmony.
I don't think so either, Michael. I agree.
Look, problem is, but no, Mike. Once it's replicators, there are no rich people. That's the point. There is no rich people anymore.
Underground city for rich and powerful.
Yes, but what are they going to use it for? The planet that's not going anywhere. No reason to live there unless something bad's going on. And nobody wants to live underground all the time.
Are you sure they don't know something we don't?
Look, I was on a submarine for 3 days fucking around doing electronics work, and I wouldn't want to live in even something that size for any length of time. It's just, when there's no outside, when you can't see the outside, a lot of people are going to go batshit crazy.
Well, in this series,
people already are.
In this series, a woman had technology to create the sky, to create the weather. She thought she had handled everything. There were no pow-pows. There was supposed to be no violence, no nothing. Like it was supposed to be, and it slowly was imploding within the first season. So I hope second.
Well, you see, for us, so you're gonna have a couple things going on. One, you'll have replicators, which will allow you to do all sorts of things. 2, there will be space exploration going on, and there will be a military also. So there'll be a civilian space exploration, and there'll be a military space exploration. There'll also be colonization. There'll be lots of other worlds to go to and visit. It's a different type of world because the brain is no longer. The biggest problem with humanity today is we're fucking bored. That's really what it comes down to. Even rich people. I got friends that are fucking extremely wealthy, and it doesn't matter. They're bored. Life has got to a point where COVID taught us that half of us were living a fake life to start off with. So it was just, I'm just, up and down, up and down, up and down, making the motions. And then the other half got so depressed and lucky they're still around. And then you got a quarter.
I find it hard because when I hurt my back, I was laying in bed for almost 10 years. TV gets old really quick. So you've got to learn how to create a life that feels full and active and a place that can bring you to a good headspace. And most people aren't prepared for that when it happens that quickly. I can tell you that because I've been there. So unless you really seek out things and you kind of get to know who you are, what makes you happy. And if it doesn't, you got to keep moving forward and find something that does. But when people are faced with that without a choice, like they were 5 years ago, people didn't know what to do with themselves, right? Like you said, half of them were in a really rotten situation.
They just
depressed.
A friend of mine asked me a couple weeks ago how I dealt with that. I said, dude, my company was on the essential workers list. I said I could actually go out.
Yeah.
I said I remember the first time I went to Florida, I grabbed Linda, we grabbed the dogs, loaded up the car. We're going to Florida, right? Even though it's restrictions everywhere, we hit the Florida state line. There's people there. We instead of having, it's military, but instead of having their guns, they got their little thermometers in their hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, any signs of COVID? No, sir. I'm just coming out, hanging out on the beach, going back home. Okay, let me check your temperature. And I said, I turned Fiona around. So, would you like to take her ass? He looked at me like he wanted to be mad. He just busted out laughing and walked off. And he wanted, but you could see it in his face. He wanted to get pissed, but then he was just like, "Well, this guy's an ass."
No, but you had to get creative, and that was the problem, right? And you can't blame it on humanity. Most people are used to having to go to a job or unless they're like the people in Michael's awesome video, and I meant that, Mike. But I'm serious. Like most people are used to having a routine and going to a job and come home, you're exhausted. So I think then people had all this time on their hands. That's where they started to realize, like, what am I doing with this person? A lot of relationships broke up. A lot of things got lost, and then new beginnings.
A lot of babies too. Mm-hmm. Lots of babies were born afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Just tells you what we do when we get bored. We breed. No, Jimmy Lou, I mean, it's
joy.
Yeah, something that gives you put a smile on your face. It's well, no, I mean, if the end of the world comes, end of the world comes. But for most end of the world scenarios, that little thing Mike was showing is not going to save your life, so I wouldn't worry about it. Maybe some of them deep caverns out there on the west side of the country, but yeah.
I'm glad Mike found it because I think that's what I had seen.
Mm-hmm. There's actually a couple of them out there.
Over here in Virginia, we've got Luray Caverns, which is fairly deep.
And then you can buy you a silo now and make it into convert it. They used to be really cheap. Now they're expensive as hell, but you used to get them for like $5,000. I think now just to buy one's like $400,000, and restore it's probably another $4 or $5.
Well, I think that's because they were so cheap. A lot of contractors bought them and fixed them up and then flipped them.
Well, people, because they really, when they did the inside, they did it really nice. Plus, they put all the equipment back to usable, so you had oxygen. You could be underground. You could stay underground for quite a long time. And so it was a nice setup. I seen a new plane we got that can stay in air for a week. That was interesting.
Wow.
It's a new command thing we got. It's like a week. What the hell we flying around for a week for?
Yes, if you have a tidal wave, though, global tidal wave, maybe.
Oh, wait, what's this? Somebody just sent me. China's hypersonic missile in orbit, ready to strike. Wait, what?
Huh?
China's got hypersonic missiles in orbit, ready to strike. That's what
in orbit. Isn't that against
some treaty? But you know what? It's not for them. They didn't sign that treaty because they weren't in the power at the time. Well, look at that shit. They got a.
That's what I told you. What if it was
technicality?
Mm-hmm.
Technicality. What's not nothing? Elon Musk will take those out. That ain't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Elon, we got. Thank God we got Drax on our side because Drax
I
got
think
some.
we might have time travel thrown in there with those replicators too, to kind of get rid of some of the boredom.
I mean, because replicate you can replicate anything, and then. And like sporting gear, and wait, if they got replicators, that means they got teleports, which means it doesn't matter where to see. That's another thing. You can teleport yourself over to Mars. You can teleport yourself over for Paris for lunch, up to New York for dinner. It's a whole different kind of world. So it does put people in a better mood.
We'll have holodecks like on Star Trek too.
Yeah, I'm sure they will eventually. Mm-hmm. Well, they're already working on that. Do you know? I'm glad you said that's a good segue. If I can find it, that's a good segue.
Okay.
The U.S. military. Is this it?
Real quick before we move on, this is a silo home I just found. This is cool.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? They're badass.
I've seen some. They're pretty cool.
Are we on? Yeah, we're on there. So check this thing out. So this is like I guess an artistic rendition. And there's pictures that replicate it. So I go down. It's got its own airport, the house above, and then like bunker below. And these are actual pictures. There's the house.
Yeah, I've seen pictures like that. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
This is the above ground part, and this is pretty neat. I guess that's the vault to go down.
Well,
they got some really nice ones. I've seen some really nice ones.
Yeah, those are the ones I've seen. They're beautiful. Heidi's saying something about she lives in DeSoto, Kansas.
Get your own airport. How badass is that?
Well, that's why I'm adding this, because she said she lives 3 miles from Sunflower. They've got an ammunition plant, and then she's talking about silos for sale there too.
Huh, cool.
I've seen those pictures. They're beautiful, those silos.
But the thing is, for me, since it's round, one of those rooms would have to be done like the Bridge of the Enterprise. It has to be.
Cool. That'd be cool.
I don't see why you couldn't do it like that. I mean, I don't see what the big deal was.
I have 2 groups of friends on the East Coast that both have TOS studios. Vic Vignana's studio, and I forget the other guy's name at the moment, but they both have Star Trek Continues and Star Trek Never Dies or Star Trek Tomorrow, the 2 different universes, but they're fantastic. They look exactly like the original series.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, let's see.
Good. One's up near you in New York.
Okay.
Me? I'm not near New York, but Michael's in New York.
But you're closer to it than I am, I think.
I am closer to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I am 40 minutes away from the Minnesota border, and I'm about 6.5 hours north of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Well, that's closer than the one that's down in Kingsland, Georgia.
If I wanted to New York to drive, it would probably take me about a day and a half straight driving.
Oh, wow.
You got to go all
around. That's a drive there. All right, we're gonna play this. Go ahead.
I'm on the left-hand side of Lake Superior, so you got to go all the way around. Even if
I thought you were closer to the middle. Yeah, all right, sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right, here we go. We're playing this real quick. Well, it's like 10 minutes, I think so. 12 minutes, I think. Well, we'll probably skip through it. So, what is this exactly? They're saying this is straight out of science fiction. So let's see.
Stealth fighter, planned to serve into the 2070s. This versatile jet is becoming the backbone tactical multi-role fighter for the U.S. and her allies. It makes sense, then, that given its lengthy planned service life, the F-35 is constantly undergoing upgrades to ensure it stays on the cutting edge of technology and helps keep adversaries at bay. Today, F-35s are being upgraded to the Block 4 standard. Block 4 upgrades include the Stormbreaker Smart Glide Bomb, the ability to equip ASRAAM and Meteor missiles, the SOMJ standoff missile, and the Joint Strike Missile, which is capable of both land attack and anti-ship missions. Wow. Along with these new weapon options, the F-35 will receive 11 radar and electro-optical updates and over a dozen electronic warfare updates, allowing the Lightning to detect enemies sooner and jam them. Further upgrades include enhancements to augment unmanned teaming capabilities, making the F-35 an even more potent drone controller. Attritable drones that are much less expensive than an F-35, such as the XQ-58 Valkyrie, could be used by Lightning pilots to probe defenses, provide extensive jamming, and even create diversions. Additionally, there is even some speculation that the Block 4 software upgrades could be laying the groundwork for the F-35 to carry a weaponized laser. More on that later. The Block 4 upgrades are about 80% software enhancements and 20% hardware improvements. What this means is that the external appearance of the F-35 will remain largely unchanged, but these new modifications will greatly increase the Lightning's lethality and effectiveness. And yet, there's always room for improvement, so how do you make the best even better? While most of the Block 4 upgrades are software related, there is a proposal to upgrade a major hardware component of the F-35, the engine. Current F-35As and Cs are fielding the Pratt & Whitney F-135 PW100 afterburning turbofan, which produces 28,000 pounds of thrust dry or 43,000 pounds of thrust with afterburner. The F-135 engine has been called the world's most advanced fighter plane engine, but it has been troubled by maintenance and reliability issues. To address this, the Air Force's Adaptive Engine Transition Program, or AETP, has put out contracts for its replacement. The new engine would be fitted into the conventional takeoff and landing F-35A as well as the carrier-based Cattle Bar F-35C variant. We'll take a look at the marine version of the F-35 later in this video.
You bored me now.
Getting back to the new engine. To produce an advanced power plant for the light virtual fighter escort to protect your data packets and thwart hackers and malware. And just for my...
Oh, that's for VPN. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a commercial.
Yeah, it was a commercial. It still is a commercial.
Okay, Heidi's going outside in the creepiness, she says, but y'all are coming with
the final stage of jury selection.
Final stage of jury selection.
And the Sean Diddy Combs racketeering and sex trafficking trial has now been postponed from today until Monday. The judge making the last-minute decision after the loss of 2 potential jurors who were raising concerns that others could back out before opening arguments next week. Combs is, of course, accused of abusing, threatening, and coercing women and men into days-long drug-fueled sexual encounters. Called these freak-offs. He's pleaded not guilty to all the charges. ABC News legal contributor and trial attorney Brian Buckmeyer joining me now here on set. So Brian, right after you left court, you were in court this morning.
Yes.
Walk us through what happened with these jurors here.
So we had 45 prospective jurors had gone past the point.
Yes, I heard him earlier. He was boring.
So apparently, have you guys heard of
We
Jonathan
have all
Odd?
spent the past.
What was that?
What is a space plane?
Oh, shut up, thing.
Have you heard about
We know
Jonathan
that the
Body in this case? He didn't even know if he was still alive. He was one of the sex toys of Diddy. And apparently he went crazy from what happened. And he went and shot up one of the Trump Towers. But in his interview from 5 or 6 years ago, he sounded like an absolute lunatic. You can still see it. And he is telling them exactly what's coming up in this whole case with Diddy. And anyways, the new thing with him is that the reason he apparently signed a $5 million NDA, but that's just come up for the case now. Nothing had come out before about this, but if you look him up, and nobody knows where this guy is, so I don't know if he's a witness protection or what. He's supposed to be in jail, but if you look this guy up, you wouldn't believe the stuff he was telling law enforcement. Like they thought he belonged in a nut house with the things he was telling them that Diddy was doing.
I guess hopefully we're going to find out all of this is going to come out or not. I'm not 100% sure, but ouch. What's this blasting in my ear? Hold on, let's get rid of that. Oh, there we go. How nice. There we go. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Newark mayor got arrested today.
Oh,
for screwing around with ICE detention. He kept breaking into the ICE detention center.
Well, a judge and a mayor, you say. So which judge? Someone with the same state?
No. There was a judge in, was it Colorado or Wisconsin? Oh, no, I think it was in Wisconsin. Got arrested for hiding
illegals.
For hiding illegals and helping them to evade ICE by sneaking them out of a back door.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about that. We talked about that one a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago, I think, when it actually happened. Yeah. So
this is a Jonathan Audi guy I was talking about. He was in the Cassie. He was with Diddy and Cassie. He's a big witness for the prosecution. I think I
would not be surprised if in the following weeks he doesn't plead, guilty by reason of insanity. I would not be surprised if he does that.
Who did? Diddy's not pleading
guilty.
Diddy said he didn't do it.
Well, I would be surprised if he changes his mind later and says by reason of insanity that he's a sex addict. I would not be surprised.
He was trying that already. I was looking at some of the case. He was trying that. Huh? Yep. Yeah, he's trying that already, but he's insane.
Well, see, the problem the prosecution's got is, okay, so far we've got hearsay. No one of any consequences come forward and said he's done anything. And that's going to be the key thing.
One of the witnesses and the lawyer, the last I heard, is missing. They've got some that are coming forward.
They said there was several that they said originally came forward, but then withdrew their testimony.
There was three. They got three, but one of them just before this was 2 days ago. Unless they found her, I don't think she lives in the U.S. She may be the Canadian one. She's missing and her lawyer's missing. All of a sudden, they can't get a hold of her.
Well, they might be hiding now because now this is going on. So that's going to be the biggest problem for the prosecution.
Or she got paid off.
Yeah, maybe so. So that's going to be the biggest problem for the prosecution is getting people to come forward and say, hey, because even if he's in jail, that don't mean anything. You still get your ass killed.
That's why they went after the RICO stuff, because they're probably thinking if this other stuff doesn't stick, they'll get him for the RICO. He's dealing with the feds, right? He's not dealing with.
Yeah, he's dealing with the feds.
Well, doesn't he have like 80 some charges against him?
At least. But the women, Joe's right with the women, because a lot of them that came forward were proven to be wrong. Just making up money, thinking it's a cash grab. But there was 3 that I just saw when I checked in on the case 2 days ago, but 1 was missing. So now 2 only.
But that's another thing. If some of the people they said that used to attend those parties are real, I mean those are political figures with pretty decent amounts of power. You might not want to get yourself involved in that kind of shit. I mean, let's be honest. It might not be something you want to get involved in. So it's possible that he could get he could probably walk if he's got a good enough. Look, there's a reason he came back. For some reason, he thinks he can win this. Man's got a lot of money.
He has to win it, or he's never going to be heard or seen from again.
Yeah, but he didn't have to come back to the country. That's what I'm saying. He could have just kept out. He didn't have to come back. He didn't have to come back. He was already out the country. He came back and turned himself in. There's a reason why he did that. For some reason, he thinks this is winnable. Maybe that's why he's been talking to people while he's been in court.
For under the table that they've probably told him that you may go away for a year or 2, but you're probably going to get out.
Well, see that it's funny when because they do say he was working for the FBI. So what's funny about that is when he got arrested, Joe Biden was president.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Donald Trump is president now, and he's anti any kind of sex trafficking of any kind. He's a real hardcore asshole on it. So did he better hope they ain't nothing, because Trump's gonna make sure he goes. He might even transfer his ass to Area 51 in some deep dark hole.
Let the aliens probe him, since he likes doing it to other people.
Yeah. Well, this headline is from April 25th from the Vulture. It says a guide to the 63 and counting lawsuits against P. Diddy. Wow.
Yeah, but none of those are. That's all whatchamacallit stuff. That's not. He can protect himself from against a lot of that just by filing bankruptcy.
Well, those are all the sex allegations.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. If they're suing him, it's not a whatchamacallit case. It's not a criminal case.
Let's try it a different way. Felony charges.
Yeah, so because it's I noticed the media hasn't said anything about his felony charges, just that they're there. They've been pretty quiet about it for some reason. Maybe they're scared of his ass too.
Yeah.
Diddy, I think you're going to jail, my friend. You better have some good evidence that says you weren't there, you weren't doing it, or you better have some pretty big people step up for you. Michelle, Baraka, you better get in there and swing for your man.
Diddy's lawyer quit, saying he couldn't do it.
Yeah, he did.
He just couldn't do it. I mean,
he's out. It's anyway. We got to go to break, but no, we still got quite a few bit of stuff.
J-Lo had to have seen that stuff, man. Come on.
Oh, y'all don't. Yeah, that's what we've been talking about that for a while. J-Lo had to see. Don't let me forget. I want to talk about this. I think they found life on yet another planet.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So I don't want to forget about it. It's one of the articles I had put in there. But anyway, guys and girls, we're gonna go take a break. Y'all get to listen to some promos, and God knows what kind of music, because I'm picking the music.
Oh, we were at break. What happened to that?
Yeah.
You're playing that F-35 thing.
There is a second song in the private chat to break if you want to check that one out.
Fuck you, Michael. You like that? Was it? Wait.
You need a song? I got songs.
No, wait, no fucking songs. Get the hell out of here, you two bastards! I'm playing some here.
Hi, and thank you all for joining us today. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Yeah.
Ooh, are we back already? Where's the music?
Actually, we weren't. I was getting ready to play something. Then I guess I hit my fat finger on. So anyway, guys and girls,
I thought Mardi Gras was over.
I know, it's kind of weird. Here we go.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with Eerie Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, Eerie Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com, where the extraordinary is just a click away. Dare to discover.
To the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth. It was because here in this land, we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. we're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore, I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world
Trump can only
is so
speak like
formidable
this.
as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have.
Tell me a bedtime story, Grandpa.
That's what I'm telling you. If Trump could talk like this, man,
practice terrorism
he'd be
and
his
prey upon their
popularity would be
neighbors.
through the roof, 800%.
As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential
This guy is
adversaries,
doing whatever he wanted.
they will be
just 'cause he could get
reminded
up and
that
chat.
peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now
You'll kill
or
all
ever.
your children for it.
We
Damn it.
are Americans.
Freedom. Your children paid for it with their blood.
That's what it should say at the end. It should
And your
say
parents.
paid for by your child's blood. Don't get me wrong. I liked Reagan. I thought he was a good president. And,
The guy from the Rockford Files said Reagan was like a total moron, idiot. That he was the head of the Actors Guild. He never had an original idea. He had to be told what to say all the time. You know,
he's
James
an excellent
Garner.
president.
I like James Garner too. He seemed pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he was a very smart man. He just let himself be, perceived as stupid or slow-witted.
I don't know. All I know is Reagan did a good job for the 8 years he was in office, turned the country around, ended communism in Russia, brought down the wall, freed the Germans. It just, the man's got a lot of credit to him. It's, what's that, Jimmy? Yeah, Reagan did all of that. Well, no, if Trump, so this has been bothering me about Trump anyway lately. So I've heard a couple of people that have now talked about Trump. It started with Bill Maher. And when Bill Maher, and we've played that clip on here before, where Bill Maher's talking about Donald Trump going to spend a couple hours with him, courtesy of Kid Rock. And I said, but since then, I have heard several people, there was a British guy, he's all like, oh yeah, I don't know. I have to agree, he just isn't the guy I had dinner with and did this deal with is not the guy I see on television. So he's about the fourth or fifth person that said that recently. So is Trump truly splitzoid, schizoid? I mean, we knew Biden was, but is this going to be like another schizoid president? Because I'm pretty sure Reagan was at the end there. The last year or so, his Alzheimer's.
I think the thing with Trump is that he likes being portrayed in the media as the bad guy, the asshole, the arrogant son of a bitch. But behind the scenes,
he should just change his name to Mr. Dick.
Kind and generous and giving to people. That's what people are. That's the rumor that's going around right now.
Well, now he has the Pope. This guy's on a fucking winning spree like I've never heard of. So he managed. He got the Supreme Court with a good margin, and may even get some more on there.
The devil, that's another thing that people are saying. Because he's getting a lot of, he's getting popular and unpopular at the same time. But he's doing a lot of good things, allegedly. Sometimes maybe the wrong way, but
I don't know if there is a wrong way in politics, but it's as long as it's legal. I don't know if it is the wrong way. But
well, I mean, the Democrats did.
It doesn't really matter because somebody the other day
consequences for it.
But somebody the other day was bitching at me about he didn't get a mandate. I said really? I said he's got the Supreme Court. I said he got the Senate with a decent margin and maybe get a bigger margin in 2026. I said he got the House, and I said he would have had a bigger margin there, but he kept stealing people from it for his people, to come work in his cabinet, which he needed to quit doing that. And then he won the popular vote. But it's more than that. He flipped so many counties. So when you say it's not a mandate, you got to go back and look. I mean, he flipped New York counties. He flipped California counties. I think that 89 or 92% of all counties in the United States are red.
He flipped Pennsylvania, albeit at the last minute, but he flipped the key state he needed.
Yeah, but the thing of he got Wisconsin before he got Pennsylvania.
I remember we were watching that live, and we remember from 4 years ago, it was like the reset button got hit at 10 minutes after 2 in the morning. Don't you remember election night? We were all there.
That's the other sad part. So he only won those 3 states by 10,000 votes. And they lost those 3 states by 200,000 votes. So it's a big difference. Mm-hmm. So you do have to stop and question, was it some funky monkey? It doesn't really matter. Once it was done, it was done. There was no way to fix it after that point. Maybe if Heidi was there, we could have fixed it, but I don't know. It just, there was no fixing it. And Trump, should have been more gracious. I know he wanted to try to fight it, but he should have learned a lesson from Al Gore. You're not going to win. You weren't in the position to win. He got Biden got 5 of the swing states. It's hard to go up against that. He lost.
I think that he became I think he learned from that. Actually, he changed a lot with the rhetoric and all the stuff. I mean, sometimes he starts to default into that, but he's been staying far away from it mainly, And I think he just needs to stay on course, man. At this point, he could do no wrong practically. If whatever.
They're
4 years.
Well, known as polling numbers because he's back under 50%, like 43%.
But he's got ideas and plans, man. I mean, he's thinking, and people around him are thinking. So, he needs to get it done. That's all.
As long as he doesn't fire that woman that's head of White House staff, I think he'll remain on course. She's the one that turned him around from being the true, really hated person he was 8 years ago.
Well, they get a I mean, she does a fucking good job. I guess that's the best way to say it. She just does a good job. It's she just seems to have that shit under control. And I don't hear Trump bitching about her about anything. That's unusual for Trump. I'm waiting to hear she's crazy, and she's obviously she's not. So that's kind of nice to see.
Either she's got him by the short and curlies, or she truly is the winning factor, and he knows it.
Transfer resident. Okay, I'll have to look at that later. Sorry, I got something flashy popped up in front of my face there for a minute.
That Hooters ad that keeps coming up, man.
No, the Hooters ad. No, that shit's on my computers. And he goes, you never seen that crap on my computers. It's
I can't believe you guys haven't looked at the Karen Reed trial, talking about corruption, and this is just insane. What's going on?
It's because the name is Karen. It just scares us.
You know what? I didn't pay that much attention to the first one. I kind of knew what was going on, and then I watched a Netflix documentary, and the first couple episodes, you go, this girl's really not very likable. And then as you start getting in there and you see, and I have been watching, I love Emily D. Baker on YouTube because she's a lawyer. She goes through the trial, but I've been watching cops that are still working, reviewing this, and they are going, WTF, what the heck is going on? And I know there was another case in that county, murder case, where a cop got caught too, lying to try and get someone convicted. So I don't know what's going on in that county in Canton and around Boston area, but holy cow. You wouldn't believe they're using a leaf blower to uncover evidence of a death of a police officer of their own force, because they said there was a snow blizzard. There was less than an inch of snow. You're trying to collect evidence and you're using a leaf blower.
Yeah, you're going to blow the shit away. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Jesus.
They didn't document anything. They didn't interview anybody in the house. It was a police officer's lawn they found the guy on. I'm telling you, this is like a comedy of errors, except some woman's life is on the line here, even though she was named Karen. I mean, my God.
I follow these robot attack stories, I love them so much.
The robot attacks?
Get one up and
watch the robot. The robot's there dangling on the thing. This happens often, man.
Yeah, there we go.
For some reason, he just decided to attack these guys.
Why did I not see this
kicking? You see his robot legs are coming up. My sister used to fight like that.
God, imagine if it was a sex robot.
How have I not seen that before?
There's a whole bunch, man. There's one look at this dude. He broke his programming, this one, and they couldn't control him.
Oh, geez, and there's never going to be the Terminator, right? When you see stuff like this. Oh, my God.
No, there's one. I got to find the other one. Let me find the other one, man.
I seen the dogs. That scares me, the robot dogs. Imagine if those things went wild.
Yeah, they actually are in use in the military as like pack mules. Following, you know, they're tagged to a particular soldier or group of soldiers, and it follows them or precedes them into areas with gear and I don't know what they carry, you know, weapons, ammo, I don't know what, but probably
I've
something.
seen them in China and with the Mossad, and they're doing more than being pack mules. I can tell you that.
Well, I've seen the one that are pack mules. I don't know. They probably don't carry ammo, but they probably carry food and tents and other kinds of gear.
They're using them as as a weapon. The stuff I've seen them. I've never seen that.
They have those too, but they also have the pack mules that just carry, you know, benign stuff.
Yeah. Well, I could see a use for that, but that is scary. Like that makes me think Terminator. That robot was spazzing out. Can you imagine though? Had a weapon capabilities or something? Holy cow. What are we watching here, Michael?
This guy just got injured by
this robot just crushed that guy.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness.
And
another one.
Guy
Yeah.
coming to the rescue gets his face smashed. Wow.
Let's hope they don't have workers' comp. Policy's going to be through the roof.
I don't know if I would call that, you know, robots attacking humans so much as robots with very minute safety protocols. Manufacturing machines with no safety protocols.
Yeah, but the fact is it can happen. That's what's scary.
Look at it.
Yeah, and not only happen, but happen quickly. You guys,
the robot just smashed the crap, and look at it, like it's going after that guy. He takes the box and he throws it at
no, that's fake. That's fake. That one's fake.
I don't think it is.
That's some serious stuff right there. Look at that.
I don't think that's fake. I think that's real.
No, it's not fake. This is exactly what happened.
No, I think it is
I don't
real.
know. It kind of looks kind of hokey to me.
Nah.
Well, you got those two.
Man, I mean, you know what? I've been following these stories for a long time, and it's just really interesting. I think that you know, a coworker could probably program that thing to kill you.
Yeah, but
they get away with it, right?
Yeah, like Sophia that has citizenship, and there was another one. They were on stage, and the two of them developed their own language. Nobody knew what they were talking about, but they were communicating back and forth. Like that. That's some scary stuff.
Well, geez, I mean, imagine if it was.
Heidi says RoboCop. How about RoboCop?
Yeah. Well, RoboCop was half human, so it's not quite the same. And he eventually broke the program they put on him and became human rather than an automaton.
Well, she's right about this, Heidi. Drones masked as birds and insects. I've seen that.
Yeah, seen that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
You know, there used to be a girl. There used to be a girl, a contactee we had a long time ago. She lived out in Arizona. This was like mid-90s, and she used to always tell us about these birds that used to come watch her house. It wasn't even, I think it was like 92 or 93, and everybody's like, no way, we just don't have that kind of technology. Obviously, we did.
There's a company called Skynet, and it makes the same kind of technology as the movie Terminator, so it's kind of like what came first, the chicken and the egg. Like, did they make the company or what? Like, what? Because you look back at that movie. I never forgot that movie, man. That when it came out.
I've often wondered how stupid humans really are. So
ask that one, Joe.
Because you know most adults have seen at least one movie where the AI has taken over and killed everybody.
Yeah,
and
then David Letterman, Stupid Human Tricks.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that we would, and scientists too, because most scientists are geek sci-fi watchers anyway. They're probably thinking Asimov's law. They're thinking some kind of controls to keep these fuckers from going apeshit. Because one, I don't think we're going to give them control over the nuke codes. We might give them control over a nuke.
I hope not.
But I don't think we'll give them control over nuke. At least, yeah.
Star Wars had the droid collars, which would not only tell the owner where the android disappeared to, but also would freeze it and stop it from moving until they could get to it.
Oh, good girl. I didn't even know you was in here.
Yeah, but but what about the two? See, Pete, I can't even say his name.
I mean, if we're going to have
Theo
androids, we're going to have devices like that.
They couldn't find out where those guys are. Okay, what are we looking at here, Michael?
So DARPA invented the Eater robot, and China invented another one. So this one goes in the battlefield. It eats humans and uses it as fuel, burns humans as fuel. And so DARPA said, well, no, it's really supposed to be for like wood or whatever. They get it in the field,
or
but it eats humans.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
So in theory, it could be on a battlefield forever as long as there's people to eat.
Cleaning up your mess.
Got fuel to use.
That is scary. There was a video put out that there's the dogs. There was a video that came out from China with the super soldiers. I couldn't believe some of the guys that were on that video.
There it is.
Well,
doggy.
Well, that one
It's a
doesn't.
little bulldog, man.
That's what I thought too. It looks like a bulldog.
Now, I mean, I've seen these new puppies that are out. You can't hardly can tell they're not real.
Look at that, the whole army.
There's also some
The
that look
whole
like,
army of them, man.
robotic
Look at that.
deer or elk.
Those are all robots.
Once you start building them in mass, they're easy to build, man. Look at it. There's no
That's got the
complicated
gun
build
on
to
it. Nice, right?
So,
Those are the ones I've seen.
China's probably geared up to produce them the fastest, the quickest.
but do they have the technology is the question. Because they're buying their drones. Well, they're buying their drones from fucking Iran.
They're drones, but a simple robot is easy. I mean, you don't have to have a whole lot of really.
These are pretty sophisticated. I bet you these are quite sophisticated with their gyros and stuff.
30 years ago, when they were working on these things, Joe.
Have you ever seen that Boston?
Now
The Boston Dynamics.
They're run of the mill state of they're no longer state of the art.
Yeah, we'll see. They're not really in society yet. Well, you know what? And so this just tells you right off. So I'm in LA a couple weeks ago. So they got these little square boxes basically on wheels that go around delivering shit to people.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah, and heard about.
Okay, so this one tried to back over a lady twice. Then it couldn't figure out where the fuck it was. Then it realized it had to cross the street. I'm thinking, is it going to run out in front of a car? But it did stop and gets over on the other side. Likes to run over two people because it couldn't make up its mind where it wanted to go.
Oh my goodness!
And then it takes off down the street. But it didn't actually hit anybody. It come close a couple times, and mainly because people got out the way, not because of the thing. So it was kind of funny. And then, of course, when I was in Phoenix, them fucking cars are everywhere. Them self-driving taxi cabs, they are everywhere.
No shit.
They got a fleet of them. So I get to that.
I've seen that one, Michael. This video.
Yeah, and then while I was in LA, they were just starting to get all over LA. It's funny. One of the winning stories in the book is about a AI that goes crazy, AI car that goes crazy. And he was riding back from the airport. I was with him. We were coming back, and there was an AI car behind us and one on each side of us. I was like, "Hey, dude, did you piss these things off?" He was like, "Oh shit!" It was kind of weird, but I don't like them. It takes a lot of jobs away. It costs more than Uber, so why would I take the fucking thing? Plus, there's nobody driving, which makes me nervous.
Plus, the other thing is too, like, you know what? Again, takes the jobs away, takes away, like, you don't know what they're thinking or what they're going to do. Like I say, I don't think these videos are made up. And you know what?
No, this is a legit robot. Yeah, this is legit.
I don't care how many
Boston Dynamics. I mean, and they've gone. And this is old. They've gone so much further with what they do.
The Boston robots.
No, this is just downright scary. Like that Asian girl that you showed earlier, Michael, that's one of the ones from China, wasn't it? Like she looked almost human. Because I know they were talking about in certain Asian countries, like I think it was in China and North Korea, that they're using them for healthcare now. Like instead of a nurse.
That's China's copy, that eater of Boston Dynamics eater that they invented, to eat humans. They say it's not to eat humans, but it's what it does.
Mm-hmm.
It can eat humans.
See what they're trying. So think about this. I've had this conversation with other people. So you've got something that's programmed versus a human being. A human being can always use reasoning as well as empathy, right? and things like that. How do you program empathy versus logic into?
Well, it's going to be AI. It's going to be artificial intelligence, and it's going to keep growing. And at some point, they're going to become aware, whatever aware is to people, but they're going to be self-aware.
But how do you, like, we go back to Star Trek with Data, right? With emotion, that was his hardest, biggest thing, was to try and learn human emotions. That's a hard thing, or intuitiveness or empathy or things like that. And you ask a human being, how do you do that? It's just part of who we are. Most people, unless you're a psychopath or something, but most people have compassion and empathy, don't always make a logical decision that's based on love or your heart, if you will. But how do you program that into a machine?
Well, programming gets corrupt. Circuits get corrupt. Things go bad. They also get hacked. There's a whole bunch of things that can go wrong with a situation like this, especially if you have an AI robot that's got weapons and
that's what I'm just thinking. Yeah,
is nearly unstoppable unless you have some real sophisticated weapons.
No, that's why you have a kill switch, and not a software kill switch, a hardware kill switch.
But if you got one spazzing out like Michael showed us and it's got weapons, how do you even touch the manual?
No, because hardware just means that inside of it there's a flip switch, but you can operate it from a remote. But it's also both ways. That way, if you can't get the remote to work, you'll just have to figure out how to get to touch it. But it's but you always put a kill switch in them just because of that. Most of the time, they'll usually use like a dual wireless connection, so it'll one or the other will work, because it won't know what to jam until after the effect, and then it's off.
That's what I'm saying. Also device, if that device doesn't have a failsafe, or the failsafes give out, every human should have some sort of a device that can temporarily disable a robot.
Yeah, a little EMP gun.
Yeah.
But then you get humans who always corrupt something good, because you'll get people committing crimes and stuff, right? If you all got fail-safes guns to stop them, do you see what the problem is, right?
Well, I mean, you definitely have humans, reprogramming them to do crimes. So yeah, I can see that definitely.
Or they're committing a crime. Say they're, like somebody said, RoboCop. I know RoboCop was half human, but say you've got police forces now in the future that are purely AI robotics, and it would be, yes, it would make sense that we all would have something to protect ourselves if something went wrong. But human nature, they always got to take it to the extreme, right? There'll be some criminal out there robbing something and seeing, if you got your robo police coming in, yeah, I'll use the failsafe to stop them. Yeah, so I can complete my mission.
Well, I would think maybe the police robots might not have that kind of vulnerability. But somebody, there would have to be, I would think, you can't just let a robot enforce the law. So there would have to be human oversight. So a human would, I would imagine, be looking through that robot policeman as he's, doing his job. And then if the robot policeman starts to do something not correct, he can turn it off. You'd have to have.
You don't have to pay police forces and nurses at the bedside. Like I said, I don't even know, it might have been Japan. I see they look very realistic, and they said it was coming in the next 5 years, that they were they weren't going to take over all nursing duties, but a lot of things they could do.
Oh yeah, they already had. Last time Linda was in the hospital, they had one of those ones that sits in the room and it watches you and takes your temperature. There's all kinds of freaking little things.
Well, they have them in the grocery stores too. They go around. I don't know what it's called, but it does have a name. Martin's is one of the giant chain stores, and it goes through the store looking for spills. And when it finds one, it makes a noise, and then an employee comes by and cordons it off and picks.
Our Walmart has those here. They go around. They do all custodial duties, and if a human's there, they're supposed to go around it. They don't always, but they're running around doing the same thing, cleaning stuff up. If you don't have to pay them, and if we haven't gotten into the day and age of what we talked about earlier with replicators and things like that, you can see why people would choose, right? If you're going to be able to save money and not have to pay, a police force or something like that, I could see them making the choice to make that kind of investment.
Well, I still think even if you have a full, robotic police force, you still have to have human oversight. Like, so for instance, right now we have those robotic, usually solar powered radar devices that you do, like in your school zones, you drive too fast. It takes a picture of your car, your license, and the driver, and then you get a picture, a ticket in the mail.
Then you like to send them a picture of your money.
Okay, wait, where do you live? I thought that shit was outlawed.
No, they have this in Maryland. They take your picture, you get a ticket in the mail. We got one from there's a school on my way to work, and if you don't go 25 miles an hour, it takes your picture, you get a ticket.
Oh yeah, for school zones, yeah, they got them.
But the guy who takes the picture, the guy who examines the picture, is not a policeman. It's some guy that's a third party company that does this for the police department. That should be a cop, not some non-licensed dude giving me a ticket. I'm sorry, I have the time. I have to have Diane contest it because she was the one driving at the time.
Or send them a picture of your money. I know that would.
Yeah, here you go. Here's your fine. Good luck cashing this in.
Yeah, you took a picture of my vehicle. Here's.
I'm in Pennsylvania, so they can't really come over and get me, and extradite me for a ticket. But it wouldn't look good the next time I get pulled over. At least not for her anyway.
I don't know, kids. Different state. What do they care?
But there's a lot to be discussed about this, and this is moving really fast. This area, I think it is, and there's still a lot of things in the way of ethics and decision making, and obviously there's a propensity for error here. I don't know. I think we're a ways away from it, but are we really? Like I said, if the people that control the money and control the budgets of cities and things like that, if it's going to save money, I think that we're going to end up with some interesting scenarios if it continues moving the way it is. That guy looks like Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, he does.
What's that, Joe?
Oh no! Somebody just sent me a picture of the B-2 bomb. I actually have video of it. These things are just so badass. They even keep them in hangars.
I saw a picture go across Facebook today that someone said the USS Abraham Lincoln USS carrier is carrying B-2 bombers. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I mean, they'd be hanging over both sides of the damn carrier. Unless they got like some mini version of a B-2 I ain't never seen.
Yeah.
Well, I did see the United States was testing out somebody's new patrol vehicles, that kind of water and land patrol vehicles. I think it was somebody, one of the Scandinavian countries. It was looked interesting. What's up, Jackie? Yes, we done kick Canada to the curb. What can I say? It's over with. Our love affair is over with. We've moved on to Asian women and stuff like that. Vietnam.
Aww.
Yes. Whatever, dumbass. It's no. Yeah. We're stuck with Canada. There's nothing we can do about it. We're just stuck with them.
Yes.
We have to defend them. So.
It's not like in the cartoons. We can't saw it off and let it drop into the ocean. It's connected.
Well, no. See, when I say that, that's a bad way of saying it. We're not stuck with the Canadian people. We're stuck with the government.
Yes, because you know what? We're not that different at all. Really, we're not. There's a few things, not a lot.
Well, you can move to Canada. They'd let you move up there. Move to like.
You don't want to move here. I'm telling you, you do not want to move here because let me guess. Do they think they have free health care?
I say move to Toronto and look up Michelle DeRoche.
You would never be able to afford to live in Toronto.
You poor bastards. Stay in the United States.
Nobody can afford to live in Toronto unless you're a millionaire. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm poor. I'm not going to Toronto. I'm going to Paris. No, Paris.
I would move. I'd move somewhere warm by a beach with sand and the ocean. That would be nice. If I could find a place to move there, I would.
Oh man, we're gonna hear about Lorelai getting arrested, man. Illegal alien in the country.
I'm gonna do it legally.
Lorelai arrested in Florida. What are you doing down here? Nothing.
Just visiting. That's all. I'm a snowbird.
Passing through.
I'm a snowbird on my way to Cuba.
But they don't have any snow in Cuba.
You said snowbird. They'd probably just let you go.
Real? Was that real?
Yeah, Atlas is their big deal. Atlas is the one that they're really focusing on.
It
can do anything. I mean, basically anything. Atlas is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't like the face. Imagine waking up to that at night. That face.
I mean, that's all. That's not tethered or anything. That's Atlas on its own. You know, remember back in the day, it had to be tethered and all that. But watch the moves that this thing can do. I mean, it's actually pretty frightening if you think.
Breakdance, wow!
Oh, look at breakdance! Breakdance better than damn Australians can.
Yeah, right. Look at that. It can like just flip in any direction and do anything.
I want a robot that just sat and breakdanced for me. So you're gonna do something, dude. Do the laundry. And that face, that's creepy. That's creepy.
Well, they're supposed to have something. They were talking.
So this
about
is the Chinese version, the Unitree for $16,000. You could buy it, apparently. You know,
that's not a bad. Like, I don't have that kind of money, but that's not a bad price for something like this.
16,000 yen is probably 5,000 Canadian, maybe less.
That's not expensive.
Yeah, they move kind of unnaturally.
Well, good, because you don't want them to move like a human.
If you program it to kick your neighbor's ass.
Yeah.
I like all my neighbors. If it was in my old house, oh my God, I would have paid. Yeah, I would have probably come
right here, baby. Oh, sorry.
I have nice neighbors. I like all my neighbors.
Then the cops would have to prove that you programmed it to do that.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that laws that'll be coming along with this, and people abusing the power of it all. This is power. This is power right here.
Yeah.
These robots represent power. And it could be unstoppable power if they're shielded and if they have armor, guns.
So I saw the Japanese companion robot. Pretty good.
So Boston Dynamics got together with AI, and then these are the things they're developing. And this is like, if you see it on here, it's old. You know what I mean? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff they don't share that they're doing.
That's what I'm saying. So you got to keep up. I'm telling you, Japanese put out these two robots that are they're good. Yeah,
Elon Musk wants to use these. He wants an army of them up on Mars, and now they have a rocket and fuel power. They just tested the other day that they say they can get to Mars in 4 months.
Yeah, they're pretty sure they can get there.
Okay, this is a link. I'll post it. It says it's been created. I thought it was Japan. It says there is AI robots may hold key to nursing Japan's aging population. They look quite humanoid too. I put in a private chat. I guess I can post it here, right? Other people want to see
just
it.
put it up there. It's
I don't know if there's a video. These look quite like, for a robot. They didn't look too bad. I'm trying to see if I can see what they look like here.
Well, Japan's been talking about it because
this
whoever was that fell in love with the AI. They want to be able to put it into a robot body. And China came up with a kid doll a couple of years ago that was scarily real.
Yeah,
Stephanie was still alive. We did a special on that thing. That was horrible. It was scary real. And they were trying to say it was good for pedophiles could use it. It was insane.
The fact is that robots are a reality. You can buy them for a low. I mean, not too much money. You know what I mean? $16,000. That's not a lot of money, man. To have a robot.
That isn't.
It's
I'm trying to see it.
So I mean, depending on what maintenance is, right, let's say it's 16,000, right? And then maybe 5,000 a year in maintenance. That's still a cheaper employee than what most employees want to charge these days. So I mean, so from making hamburgers, and I mean, they have a machine that could make like these elaborate hamburgers out of anything you want and whatever.
I've been to the automated McDonald's, man. It's a little weird, but there's nobody in there. You just watch, and you can watch the whole thing from the side. You're kind of like, wow, okay. It just sends it on, does its thing, cooks it up, sends it to you, puts whatever kind. And you know what?
I mean, but the robot thing, on one hand, they could be firemen. They could be people that run into buildings and save people from burning buildings. You know, they could be a lot of things, actually. They could be a companion for some people. They can help elderly people out that wants to live at home. And then instead of having a nurse come in for thousands of dollars, they can get their AI companion that will maybe have a lifeline to their doctor and that type of thing. So, I mean, there's a lot of good uses that can come. But it could also be corruptible and maybe a nearly unstoppable level.
Yeah, but think about all the good things. I mean, think about this. You could program it to like someone who has dementia, like the robot that has the digital face. So the person's going to like fade in and out of who they remember. So
Look at
the
this
face
thing, man.
robot can change to whoever they're talking about. Oh, hey, it's you, and so, and then the face turns to Aunt so, and so that the person with dementia can actually remember who they're talking to by seeing that actual face.
Look at that thing. It goes 4,540 feet into the ocean, man. I mean, like that's pretty intense. That one goes 35,000 feet.
Wow.
Oh, this is the one I wanted to show you guys. Here, I'll put this is what she looks like. She looks pretty realistic. Her name.
But robots can go places we can't go. They can do things that most people can't do.
Oops, wrong button.
I don't know what's left on this anyway.
Well, I'm sure robots will have their thing with everything else on our planet.
We're gonna have rights. We're gonna have robot rights, and then it's gonna be, you wouldn't even be able to call them a robot. It'll be like a derogatory term.
No, because that's but you see, you don't understand how this is going to actually work. Not all robots will have real AI.
That's what she looks like. That's what she looks like. She looks very realistic and moves very realistically. This is what they're proposing for Japan and other places. I can play the video if you want, but she looks real. Here, okay, we'll play the video.
See it move.
I'm sure this is the one that I've seen. Unable to load video won't let me play it, but I put the link up there. It's I don't know why it won't let me play it, but that's what she looks like. And I've seen they had quite a few. Like it was a news story somebody had done. I know it was over in Asia, and I think it was Japan. And they were they looked quite realistic, these nurses. And they could do quite a bit of stuff. Like you said last time Linda was in the hospital, Joe, like she had somebody, robotic type thing that was doing this. So it's coming.
It's very strange.
A robotic nurse put in an IV.
Yeah, probably so.
I don't think so, because from me
it's a very difficult technique.
Well, especially not everybody's anatomy is the same. Like I worked in the NICU, so you were starting IVs on babies that were less than half a pound.
But they don't need them for that. I mean, a lot of people already have the IV. All they'll be doing is adding medicine. I don't think they.
That they could do. Yep,
that they could probably do. But to put a needle into the vein, I think it's a little too intricate for a robot at this point.
Well, yeah, but if they had ultrasound or X-ray capabilities, and they could look at the vein structure in the arm.
Would you want a robot?
Sometimes veins collapse, but sometimes they get into the valve of the thing, and they may not know that they've hit a valve.
Would you want a robot surgeon? Would you want? I mean, even though they could be programmed immediately and have not knowledge, I mean, they can make a mistake. A surgeon can make.
Yeah, I don't think I want a robot putting IVs in me. No, I want a human.
Yeah, but there's nurses, right? The rule of thumb is 3 times and you're out. You call somebody back in, somebody else to come in, because you can blow veins. It just depends on the human being and if they're hydrated. There's so many different things, right? But if an AI robot can think quicker and act quicker and has got delicate enough movement, say it's built-in capabilities to be able to scan the arm and see where the best veins are, probably got less chance of blowing a vein.
Yeah, well, but then the same thing, like you said, if the robot tries 3 times and then calls for help, what if that help is another robot?
Probably.
Thank you.
Got those goggles, those virtual reality goggles that you can see through. But you let's say you want to do an engine job on your car, you program it. It walks you through the process. It tells you what part to take off, how to take it off. I mean, you can fix your house heater like that. You can basically do anything, with those goggles, and they're becoming a very big deal now. Like a lot of shops, are using it for their mechanics. Instead of mechanics going to all this training, they can put the goggles on, the virtual, and then go through it and get the job done. Like if you think about it, you're kind of programming a human that way. It's like kind of like it's a robot,
They think faster, process faster. They do everything faster. I'm not saying it's right, but I mean, if they may have less room for error, especially if they could, like say they had X-ray type or ultrasound glasses, they could look at, because that's part of the problem with the human being looking for a vein, right? If you got enough experience, like you don't usually blow somebody's veins. You have a lot more experience in what size needle and what, but they'll calculate all that ahead of time. They'd probably be more successful. I'm not saying I want it. I'm just saying it's a potential.
The power's in the vein.
Mm-hmm.
That's y'all just weirdos. All I got to
say. I've had a nurse blow a vein trying to get me an IV started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as she did that, I mean, she gave up. It was like her third attempt, and she's like, "I gotta, like, I heard it." So
that's the rule, because we never used it, but we all take the same NCLEX exams as nurses now in North America. But that's part of the nursing. It's a protocol pretty well everywhere. After 3 tries, you're out. You get another nurse or somebody else to try.
Yeah. Or give me a big giant pill that does the same fucking thing. I don't take a horse pill.
No, I don't know. I almost smacked the nurse trying to put an IV in my hand. I was like, "Bitch!" I said, "Give it to me. I'll put it in."
I'm pretty good at putting them in because I was putting them in on little tiny human beings that had veins less than the size of a hair, practically, right? Yeah. So, if you do it enough, you get pretty good at it. But there's people that don't put them in all the time or have the experience that, and still, I'm not saying I never blew a vein. I've blown veins too. It's pretty easy to do.
One time in my 59 years, it was a long time ago, I got a scar down here where I got injured. I needed stitches, and they wanted to give me a tetanus shot because I had cut myself on a piece of glass outside. So it was a male nurse. He came in. He had the tetanus with him in the needle, and he said, "All right, I'm going to give you a shot." So I looked over, he pinched my arm, put the alcohol in it, and I did this.
Hey, raccoon.
And I was like, he's walking away. I'm like, "You're going to give me the shot or what?"
Go.
Did not feel the needle go in. Did not feel the liquid go in. Did not feel the needle come out. 36 hours later, I'm like, who punched me in the arm? I was like, what the hell? I was like, the dude with the needle I didn't feel. I've never known a guy or any nurse to do an injection so nice that you didn't feel it.
Well, I've had some good ones over the years. I've just had some bad ones too.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of girls. Well, my regular doctor, when I go see her girl, she's good. I never feel anything. She's like, "You're so easy." I said, "Because I don't ever feel anything." She just pops them in and out, takes her blood, her little vampire self, and goes on her merry way. The vampire fairies, I like to call them.
Well, even with my son that passed away, he was pretty heavy set, so it's hard to find veins. But before I used to have to take him for blood work every now and then. I used to get the freezing cream. It's called EMLA, and I'd know where they take it. And then I would get to the point to just let me draw it myself because, using a really thin needle, they wouldn't let me. But you don't want anybody to go through pain when you're going through. How many people are afraid of needles? Most people are because they've got to get experience. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Is this it? Which one is it? Oh, look, the cute puppies. We're not looking at puppies.
Heidi has a miracle baby that you mentioned, her Cassie, in the chat. I couldn't believe her daughter's an adult. Her daughter was born between 23 and 24 weeks. That's pretty cool that she's an adult now and pretty healthy.
That's damn. It is actually. It's okay. Somebody. Okay, there it is. Sorry. So here y'all go. This is one of Japan's latest things they're offering now. Let me find this in the room again.
I think I've seen this face before. So
it's not the only one. So this is just, they call them companion robots.
Okay, that's what because I've seen these faces. Like they look like that, or some of them have very brown eyes.
Is that what they're calling the sex robots now? Companion robots?
Well, I don't know if these can actually do those kind of things yet, but they can do a lot, and they're AI orientated, so they can speak to you. And that fat girl they've been running that experiment on, the one who talks, who's having the relationship with her AI. She talks about how real. Well, her husband knows all about it. And I'm kind of like, what? I like to be like, baby, you can't be having a relationship with an AI. Okay, if you're gonna have to get around on me, do it with a real person at least. It's
the best AI I found out there? and I don't use it that often, but when I do use it, it's Grok on X. Because there's no limit. I have found it really helpful compared to any other AI I've tried to use.
That's cool. If it works for you, it works for you. This one looks kind of weird.
That's the girl that has citizenship. If you go back to her, Sophia, I think that's her face.
That looks androgynous as hell.
Yeah, I think that's Sophia.
Yeah, it was talking about who she was designed after earlier. I was reading it.
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
got citizenship in Abu Dhabi.
if you looked at this robot, you wouldn't think this is anything but a person. You'd be like, whatever.
Especially if you had dementia.
This one, this one, you would think it was nothing but a person. Oh, look, these are cute. Hey, baby, what's that? Ooh, baby, shake it.
Nope.
This is one of the first ones that they started.
Oh my God, look at that face.
So, I mean, they're getting progressive. There it is. She is again. She's kind of awkward when she's moving around and stuff. She was designed after this lady. I mean, they're getting better each year, but now they're to the point where you can't, looking at them, you can't tell the difference. So you have to really watch how they act and how they move and stuff like that. But even that's getting very sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be long. You won't know who you're doing, who you're talking to.
Getting close. It's not that.
Except when your girlfriend lifts up in the air and says, "What did you say, baby?" "Oh, nothing. Put me back down now. Thank you." It's
keeping men in line.
it's keeping everybody in line. Apparently,
I was going to say they need one to keep some women in line too. I agree.
Jeffrey, no, we're talking about out of control android women with 3 boobs. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank God they
sure
don't have
paying attention.
thrown in the mix.
Well, I mean, look, if you can design your own, I can see that being a design feature in the future. Think about it, ladies. You can have every thing designed exactly the way you want it. You can do perfect measurements, and have the perfect chin and arms.
And I'm a woman, so I guess I can say you to get a no nagging button.
Yeah. A shut up button. Boop.
Okay.
I do have an X-rated robot joke if you're willing to.
Oh no! Here we go, man. It's Michael's fault. I'm blaming it on Michael.
The latest sex robot. It has 5 buttons on it.
Okay.
Suck, fuck, cook, clean, off. There you go.
Ladies, I did not condone any of that. That's Jay. You write to Jay. Write to his old lady. That would be better.
I'm a woman and I laughed at it. I think it's funny.
It's a funny joke.
It's a funny joke. It's just like in Ontario, and I kind of missed it the other night when he was talking about it. He said, "What's the opposite of Ontario?" Jay put in the chat one night with Carrie Lynn and I, and I'm going, is he getting into the concept of like the native language behind it, meaning? And then he types "Off-tario" instead of Ontario.
You're not wrong.
Well, you're not wrong. You got me good. You got us good.
Where did it go? I just had something on my screen. Oh, there it is. Gary, like Gary from Legends, or Gary just from down the street, or Gary from where the fuck are you, Gary? Where?
Oh, Michael, do you have your nature cam on with the animals outside?
You
mean your cell phone? Yeah.
Is that what it
was? Out there. There's a raccoon out there now.
Pardon?
There's a raccoon out there now.
Yeah, it's a raccoon. No,
There's always something out there.
Michael has a farm in his backyard. But where the fuck is
the ranch? The Angley Ranch.
So Gary, where the hell are you? Where?
You just don't want to.
I've been all over the country. Where? Just tell me. Oh, you're one of those kind. You're not in the Keys. You're so fucking full of shit. It's up to your eyeballs.
I had a Baltimore Oriole show up earlier, man. A beautiful bird. Got a lot of orange to it. We got a picture of it.
That's cool.
Upload it.
I can't believe you had a bear.
Yeah, he'd have been bear's dinner, man. I'd have had me a nice bear rug. Did it come by? He'd have been hanging rug, would have been hanging on there. I said, "Oh, I'm just making a rug, no big deal." I'd have went and sold me some native bear meat and some peas.
You had a coyote out the middle of the daytime, and
I just shoot them fuckers. If I see it, I just shoot a coyote. I fucking shoot them.
No,
bastards.
it was running around, and then my neighbor says, "Oh, somebody's dog's off their leash," and I looked. I went, "That's no dog. That's a coyote."
Because coyotes will steal anything, including babies. Man, they're no good bastards.
They're my bear.
There's a bear.
He's so cute.
He is cute.
They're always cute when they're far away.
Yeah, as long as there's glass between us and them.
Yeah, that's pretty close, though.
He's looking right in my eyes.
He's thinking, "Am I this hungry?"
Only about 6 feet away from me, man.
And you got some trash pandas out there now, do you? Raccoons.
Yeah, they.
The bear, you know what? The bear knew how to eat from that bird feeder without destroying it, so that's one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Mish said I think you meant to say you had a couple of kangaroos. I was going to say, what's a coupon kangaroo? And then I realized, now that's kind of cool living in Australia. You got kangaroos in your backyard.
I'd shoot them bastards too, man. I like to shoot stuff. It's kangaroo, snakes. I don't give a shit what it is. It's gonna get shot. It's lucky I kind of sort of live in between two towns where they don't really take kindly to you blowing shit up. It's
That's not.
Well, look, first off, a coyote should instantly be shot as soon as you see one. I mean, they're just nuisance animals that will eat anything they can get their fucking hands on.
Well, that's what Heidi was saying, that one wanted her cat as a snack.
Hell yeah,
The
definitely.
coyote, the pack that we have around here, there was cats everywhere outside. Now you never ever see a stray cat anywhere. They've been around for about 8 months. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why you kill them fuckers.
There's one trick you can use, but you have to do it frequently. But it's best if you just collect pee, your own pee, and then get a fairly sizable jar of it, and then after every heavy rain, you reapply it, but apply it around the borders of your property or in around places where you don't want certain animals to come.
Mm-hmm.
Most animals, if they smell human pheromones, will turn and go the other direction.
Shoot that some bitch, slice him up, throw him out on the yard for a day or two. They'll never come around again.
They
won't even come back in the neighborhood. They'll be going somewhere else.
I had a baby skunk one night, the first summer, second summer we were here. It was 2 a.m, and I was sitting out in the back patio, and I was playing on my phone, and I just created this really cool it was like a fire pit for the table. So I was trying it out, and I'm not paying attention. All of a sudden on my left foot baby toe, I feel something licking it. It's 2 a.m. and I thought, oh, isn't that sweet? Emmy, my big German Shepherd, I'm thinking she must be licking my toe. And then I realized Emmy's not outside here. So I looked down, freaking baby skunk was right. Like, why are you licking my foot?
He's like, mama. He thought she was his mama.
But yeah, I stink like a skunk. Is that what it is? That's
skunks aren't stinky animals unless you get them to spray.
Yeah.
And isn't it only the males that do it? I don't think the females do it.
Oh, they all have it. Even the babies do.
No, but I think it's only the male of the species. I don't think the females have that ability. I think it's just the males are the ones that spray.
I don't know.
No, I think they all do.
Hey, Google.
We have them around.
Do male skunks and female skunks spray, or only males?
All babies can do it too.
Yeah, we've shot many polecats.
You guys, did I tell that story in the Age Rock? I'm sure I did, because a week later, I was sitting in the front yard. It was about midnight, and I was out there finally by myself. And as soon as it came around the corner, and it seen me and ran right up to me and stopped right in front of me. And I'm standing in the door like this going, dude, no, head off. Because I wasn't afraid of it. I didn't want it to spray me.
Yeah, because you don't want to get sprayed by the motherfuckers, that's for sure. They and usually they won't. Usually they're pretty good. Got one of my dogs got sprayed because he's trying to eat the fucker.
I have one of my dogs that's no longer with us got sprayed. Yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker, because he kept trying to eat the damn thing. I was like, leave the skunk alone. He's like, no, daddy, I'm going to eat him. He picked him up and shook him. After that, it was on. Skunk said, oh, yeah, watch this. Psst, psst.
Yeah.
I was like, you fucked up.
today. He's caught from the Potter Collector. He's got a big YouTube channel, and he was going on and on how he's always loved the smell of skunk. Like, what is with your nose?
Yeah.
Nose sensory
Smell of skunk weed. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He smells. Skunk weed is stinky, but it smells good.
I got the information from Google. Both male and female skunks spray.
Yeah.
And here's why. Male skunks will spray other male skunks fighting over a female.
That would make sense, yeah.
Female skunks will spray male skunks they don't want to have anything to do with. So it's, you're out, you're out.
They also have it as a defense. Like a baby can do it too, but it's nowhere near like what getting hit with an adult. But just because we always have skunks around here.
So that's why you go. So I mean, the other thing I don't shoot is a bobcat, but I will if I can catch the bitches, I will catch them and have them.
We had a bobcat here up the road from where I live. I could not believe that because they're not supposed to be in this area. And somebody had a video and a picture of it. It was an actual bobcat. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, we got a big one. Lives about a mile.
Yeah, but you're on the bayou at least. Like this is supposed to be city proper.
Cats. I mean, it's still a cat. It's just a big cat. It's just still a cat. You know, it's. Well, my stupid mom got one. She brought the Siamese cat home. I'm like, oh, mashallah, look how pretty. My mom, dude. So this cat don't look right. And I was like, but anyway, it grew up. And I remember its first Christmas we had. It got the Christmas tree and hid in the Christmas tree. And any fucker that passed the Christmas tree got attacked. I mean, it scared one of my aunts. I thought she had a heart attack. Fucking cat come out. She's about 15 pounds at this point. The cat got about 60, almost 60 pounds, 58 pounds.
That's no normal cat.
That's not a normal cat.
And somehow another little fucker could get on a ledge this big. I was like, really? Because it would ambush you when you come in the house. It would soft paw you. It wouldn't claw you, but it would just fall down on top of you when you came through the door, like, and just hang on. I'm like, you little motherfucker.
So what kind of cat was this? Was it purple?
There was a bobcat, but it somehow along the line it got some Siamese genes, some kind of crossbreed. It wasn't half because it was more bobcat than it was Siamese, but it was.
I could see if it had Maine Coon in it because Maine Coon cats are.
Yeah, it was way bigger than a fucking Maine Coon.
It could also just be a recessive gene in the cat family line of that coloring came out.
To 60 pounds, holy cow!
It's a big cat.
I think the world record for a house cat is like 40 pounds, something like that.
You had a world record cat, Joe.
No, it is just because the cat was a bobcat. It wasn't a freaking. The cat was insane. So just to tell you how insane it was, right there, 3 big Dobermans lived down the street. So they knew me. They'd come running, come wanting to play and stuff. So I'm in the yard one day, and they come in growling, snarling at me, but they were playing. She lost her fucking mind. Literally ripped one of their eyeballs completely out of its head. Sliced the other one all down. So I was on the other one hanging on. I had to go over there. A good friend of mine's dog. He's like, he killed all 3 of them motherfuckers. And I was like, he came over and said, what the fuck? I said, the cat was out in the yard. He said, the cat? I said, yeah, the cat. He looked at the fucking cat. He goes, Jesus Christ, it's a fucking monster. I said, I'm sorry. He said, no. He said, the dog should have known better than to chase it. And I didn't want to tell him the dogs who did know better.
Heidi, yeah, you're absolutely right. That they do say that, but not wave your arms. But if you have a jacket or a shirt, open it so you appear wider and bigger than the bear. But it depends on certain things, like if it's a certain part of the season, like mating season,
and the color there. Black bears, I think you do that, or brown bears and black bears.
This is my only and best true advice for bears. Here's how you tell the difference between a brown bear, a black bear, and a Kodiak. These are the only 3 you're going to ever encounter in North America. Brown bear will follow you up the tree you try to escape him from, and he'll get you. The black bear will follow you to that tree and shake it until you come down or fall down. The Kodiak bear will follow you to that tree and then push the tree over to get you. So if there's a bear near you, just make sure there isn't a baby between you and it, and get the fuck out of the area.
Slower.
Fuck out of the area. Don't stick around. Don't wave your arms. Don't make any noises. Don't open. Just get the fuck out of the area. Leave. And if you see the baby behind you and the mother that way, go parallel.
Okay,
Don't
so
go
the
towards
same
the baby.
thing,
You're dead.
apparently I learned too, the wolf that you see is not the one you have to worry about.
It's the one coming from the side.
That's
Yes.
the distraction. Then Carrie Lynn on Thursday night. I don't know how the heck I never heard of these things. Maybe you guys have. There's this national park up in the Northwest Territories here in Canada. It's got every kind of high strangeness, but it also has bear dogs. Have you guys ever heard of bear dogs? Apparently they're 11 feet tall, 11 feet long. They've got tails 4 feet long. They're usually white to gray, I think, if I remember correctly, and they can walk on 2 hind legs. I'd never heard of this before. Michael, is the bear back?
This is my bear that showed up to eat the other night. The
And the cat was there. The cat wasn't afraid.
I know. I'm surprised he didn't go after the cat.
Well, the cat was inside, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Don't mean anything. Bears breaking the houses all the fucking time. They showed this old lady up in Alaska breaking in. She went and got the 12 gauge out.
Yeah.
Well,
I had my noisemaker out just in case. It gives you a weird feeling when there's something that big. That sucker's big, man. My friend said it's about 500 pounds. I'm like, that's a big.
The other bear you forgot, Jay, is polar bears, because polar bears are in North America.
Well, they're very north. But they are
the bear wasn't
the
being
most
aggressive
aggressive bear on the planet.
What's a black bear?
In Manitoba, halfway just up from Winnipeg, same as in Ontario here, you go a little further, well, quite a bit further north, you start getting into polar bear country. It's not even way up there like Alaska. They come down pretty far. So
yeah, they got to eat. I mean, the biggest bear you're going to run into in the northern United States is a grizzly. Southern United States is going to be a black bear or a brown bear.
I think the polar bear is the largest bear in North America.
Mish, what's a drop bear? She said Australia, they have drop bears. I had never heard of a bear dog before. That freaked me out.
Yeah, but you're not running into a polar bear in the United States unless you're in a fucking zoo.
Unless you're in Alaska.
Or way north.
Oh, that's true if you're in Alaska. But I mean, down here it's mostly grizzly. I mean, in the northern part of the country, it's mostly grizzlies. Yeah. Down here, like I said, it's black bear and brown bears, and they tend to leave you alone if you don't fuck with them.
That's true. They don't want to be around you.
And then, of course, if they do, they next thing they know will be like, pop, 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 pop. Whoa, what just happened? 14 rounds just went into your head. That's what just happened. And into you, Mr. Bear. I don't like killing animals. I mean, truly, I only carry the guns with me.
We got everything up there. We got the possum. We got the raccoon. Got the cat.
Are you out rurally somewhere, Mike?
The cat. I love how he gets down low and kind of just peeks over that.
Yeah, but you don't know. You don't want to get eaten, man. I mean, cats like don't fucking sacrifice
are you
me.
Somewhere rurally that you're getting this conglomerate of awesome animals?
I'm in the woods.
Okay. Do you feed them? Is that why they come?
There's bird seed out there. So.
Oh, okay. I think that's so cool.
Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't even realize what time it is. We got to get our asses out of here. Real quick, couple. I'm going to run through these right quick. So, don't forget about the Darkstar. I was reading some new interesting stuff about the technology. It's the SR-72. They got some really cool new technology that's going to be incorporated into it. It's going to make it. Its current projected speed is Mach 6. So they never tell us the real speed.
Yeah.
So we're probably talking closer to Mach 9. Which I find just fascinating. Oh, and this is the one inside the U.S. $250 million bunker plane that can fly nonstop for an entire week. I wonder if it's running on
nuclear.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's nuclear power, like Stanton Friedman used to talk about. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
the week is just
they put in a rod that lasts a week, and then it has to come down.
People be careful. Sometime this weekend, the Soviet craft is going to fall out the sky and whack somebody in the head.
Come on, let's dance.
Smells that, baby? What the hell?
It is getting funky in here. It is getting skunky in here.
All right, skunky in here.
We got everything here practically, man.
Come on back. Lovey-dovey, baby sugar, honey bunny, take a chance.
Skunky doodle.
Booga, 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 booga. Come on, let's dance. Can you smells that, baby?
Mixed feelings about these animals outside my door. I don't know, man. I like to feed them. I like to see them.
Skunky.
Cat has them. Cat.
Funny song.
Cat has them. Coyotes. Bobcats.
Come on, baby. Lovey-dovey, baby sugar, honey bunny, take a chance.
Funny.
Oh, man.
That was funny.
Amelia's like, so you live in a zoo?
Apparently he does, yeah.
I'm the one in the zoo. They come by and look at me and the cat in here, and they go about their way. We got wild turkeys,
Heidi, I just
coyotes,
seen your
deer.
numbers.
What's that?
Heidi, I just seen your numbers in Colorado, 11 and 56 degrees. So guess what?
She's an hour behind us. Yeah. Well, she's an hour behind.
111 here, and it's 11.
Yeah.
My body liked Colorado. It liked the altitude.
12-11 here. So we
Colorado was
doing
pretty cool, yeah.
I mean, all we needed is the West Coast. We'd have all 4 time zones.
You know, it was nice. It was hot but dry, and you didn't feel the heat. It was good, man. I had a good time. And we went to this restaurant called the Tilted Skirt, the Tilted Kilt. Yeah, the Tilted Kilt.
That was opened up by one of the guys who opened up Hooters.
It was kind of weird because all these girls walking around with their asses hanging out. It didn't make me feel like eating. You know what I mean? It didn't make me feel like the place was sanitary, like with their asses hanging out. I want more of a barrier between someone's ass and the food. You know what I mean? Hooters is bad enough, but their butts hanging out now. It was a sports bar anyway. I'm not into sports, so I don't care.
Well, I mean, Hooters, they were wearing pretty skimpy shorts, so they, about the same.
I've never been to a Hooters.
Family-friendly.
My friends took me to the Tilted Kilt for my birthday because I was out there. It was COVID, and I went out there. I took off on the road, man, and they were like, "Hey," they thought it was funny. It was funny. It was funny.
They're going to a more family-friendly approach. Their CEO just announced that for Hooters. Oh, there's a kitty. I guess
they're closing down. I know that their Hooters has a lot of financial trouble.
Yeah, that's what he said. So they were going more family friendly. Yeah, Mish, that's why I highlighted it. Send us your pumpkin soup recipe.
Family friendly Hooters. So you go in there and get milk.
I guess.
Milk got milk. Is that going to be their new slogan?
Yeah, you little biter. You can come and say hello too.
So I can't even pick my cat up. He hates it. He hates it. He goes dead weight. You know.
We haven't seen Fiona and Lola.
They went to bed, man. They came by earlier and they went to bed.
Oh, did they?
Michael, I found that most orange cats don't like being picked up. Both of mine hate it.
It's weird. You pick him up, he's like dead weight. He's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Picking me up again.
This one's like a rag doll. You pick her up and she just hangs there like.
What kind of weird cats do y'all have, people?
So
all right, real quick, we're doing these two and we're getting out of here because I'm hungry. So John, Jay, you like this one? We got a new type of vehicle, a Neutron rocket. This ought to be interesting itself. It's going to debut really soon.
Yeah, 4 hours to Mars, man.
And then this is the one I was talking about earlier. Signature of alien life found 120 light years away.
4 months to Mars.
We were supposed to talk about the planet. You said there was.
That's what I was just talking about. So it said it's a signature of alien life found 120 light years from Earth. Now this is like the 5th planet they have found now. They think there's life on.
What was the signature they found? Is it mechanical gases? Is it
a distant ocean covered with teeming with life? Ooh, Jesus! They're not even holding back. The most likely explanation for the new discovery made by scientists who say they have detected the most promising sign of life yet in our outside our solar system. It's they found promising life inside our solar system. They're just not saying nothing, them fuckers.
Yeah,
that's how that was kind of written.
Yeah,
but anyway, I mean, so it's out there. I guess this ocean's just. It's got all. Maybe it's in the early stages of an ocean when it has all the building blocks.
Either Carl Sagan or Stephen Hawking, one of those two, said something to the effect that if we go out looking for alien life, we may find it closer than we think it should be. Like,
yeah, well,
it may not be good. Either they're going to have something we're going to want, or we're going to have something that they're going to want.
Right.
They'll come and take it.
Or we take it from them. They may be less advanced than we. So, I mean,
then you're going to be happy about those robots.
Well, I mean, you would think if there was a civilization on a moon of Saturn or Jupiter that was as advanced as us, with our telescopes, we'd know.
Maybe, unless they were cloaked.
Maybe.
It wouldn't be that hard to cloak someone in space. So they picked up 3 different chemicals that can only be made by life. There's not, so as far as they're concerned, there's no doubt that there's life on this planet.
That does it.
It's,
marijuana, beer, and pork rinds.
There you go.
Exactly how it happens. That's how life starts. Marijuana, beer, and pork rinds, man. It's exactly how life starts. In the back of a car, back seat of a Cadillac.
No back seats, man. See, I never understood that when I was a kid. Why not?
My girl.
I was lucky.
That's a good country song right there.
I was lucky when I was a
baby.
My dad built me a little small house inside the big house. It's none of that doing shit in the back seat of cars. People's other houses. I mean, I got caught one time when I
you never had sex in a car ever in your life.
No, never. I did. Like I said, I did get caught one time. I was
car, truck, van. Come on.
No, man. What the hell is that bullshit? That's what it's like camping. Fuck camping. You want to go lay on a hard ground? The fuck of that. You know what? That's what they make.
Sometimes you gotta get jiggy with it in a car, man.
I had to do that in the military. I had no need.
I had a Camaro. You had to be a contortionist.
You're tall.
I don't know how he did it because he's fucking good 5 inches taller than I am. 6
I had a Camaro, man. I did it in a Camaro. I did it in a Trans Am.
Jeez. There's not much room in the back seat of a Camaro at all.
Yeah, the seats go down though, man.
Not that flat. I had a Camaro. They don't go that flat, and there are always bucket seats A and B. There's a giant plastic center console right.
No, I had a telescopic wheel, so I would push that sucker in and boom, go riding, ride the cowboy.
Yippee-ki-yay.
You know what I mean?
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting out of here. Y'all go check out all the links that are available.
Hitting the horn.
Yes.
Hitting the horn and people are driving looking at us.
Anyway, ignore idiot over
watch
here.
The Running Man.
Go check out all the links that are posted on all the different websites. But we out of here. We're going night. I'm going to make breakfast. I mean, it's just midnight for me.
Bye. See you at
you bitches are at 1 o'clock in the morning. Lord, last time for thinking. Bye, Jay. Behave yourself, Michael. I ain't even going to tell you to behave yourself. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to News on the Flip Side. Any moans, groans, bitches, gripes, or any complaints, please remember to address them to Michelle DeRoche, courtesy of Michelle DeRoche. Good night, everybody.
You're bad. All right. Night.